everyone, welcome back. Not to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form here today under our right to our freedom of speech and to our right to assembly on public land to show you, the consumer, the truth. Now, we're going to be showing you things today. This industry will hide so hard. Do you watch what lengths they go to keep this secret from you? As you're coming into this live stream, we need some things that you need to do. First of all, you need to double tap the live stream, like it. The likes get the people in the room. People in the room get to see the animals, and this is why we're here today. The second thing we need you to do is subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to the conversation and why we're here. And subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan, if being kind to animals triggers you and upsets you. But make sure you've double tapped that live stream and please hit the share button. Now, also today, we're here in collaboration with Animal Aid. Animal Aid investigation page is in the description of this live stream. Click on the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, go to the Animal Aid investigation page, which is the first link, and it will take you to an investigation page where an investigation was done on the very facility that is behind me right now. This is F Juries. This place was investigated. They were found doing all sorts of horrific things to animals. I'll tell you all about it after you subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Please like, share, subscribe, and share on other socials. The investigation here showed animals being shot in front of animals because they execute and murder horses here. Horses were being shot in front of other horses, and animals were being left in the kill box for 2 to 3 hours. Sheep were having their heads cut off under 20 seconds of being decapitated, and you can go and see all of this for yourself. The actual video footage of the slaughterhouse behind me on the Animal Aid's investigation site. Go to the top 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, click on the description, and go and see it for yourself. We're here today not to clash with non-vegans. This is our second disclaimer. If you're not vegan, we're not here today judging you, pointing our fingers at you and saying you're a bad person. We're here today to bring you the truth and the reality that the industry never give you. Good people never have the chance to do the right thing because the industry replaces transparency with lies. They tell you that it's humane, that it's ethical, and that it's necessary. 3 huge lies which keep animals inside slaughterhouses and keep the public indoctrinated into believing that it's all okay. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're a vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Gross,
oh my God, the wind has just blown this way, and the smell from the kill floor has just literally washed over us here. Right behind me, this is the slaughterhouse. There's a layerage. That little ramp there where the straw is and the hay is, that is the layerage that the animals will be walking up today, and they'll be walking up there to go into the layerage, will then go through to the kill floor to be stabbed to death and killed. This slaughterhouse here kills cows, they kill sheep, and they also kill horses. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to why we're here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and please share on your socials.
Why do they kill horses?
They kill horses here because they are a waste product from the racing industry. Ex-racing horses or ex-pets that are no longer wanted, discarded. They'll come here, they'll be shot, they'll be killed, they'll be chopped up, and then they'll be sold for meat. And they disguise it as a meat known as chevet. So they try and label it because who in their right mind would go and buy a horse, right? Because we're actually not disconnected from horses. People actually do morally consider horses. So unlike cows, pigs and chickens, who we are disconnected to caring about, they can't name this meat horse meat because the general public will go, oh. But if we name it chevet, no one really questions it. It's a fancy thing and they buy it. The industry lie and indoctrinate the consumer to market their quote-unquote product as best as they can. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to this conversation and why we're here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat. If you don't care about animals, please share on all your socials. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Their investigation done at the very facility we're stood outside of right now is in the link in the description. Why don't you go into the link in that description, watch that investigation that Animal Aid have conducted, and then come back to this live stream and tell us what you think.
Andrew just put, is this a slaughterhouse, question mark?
Yeah, this is a slaughterhouse. This is F Jury Slaughterhouse here, and they were investigated back in 2019 by Animal Aid. We're here today to bring light to what happens to animals all over the world and to highlight the injustice that they face. We're here also to bring people to the Animal Aid investigation page so they can see inside these facilities something that the industry tries very, very hard for the public never to see.
SHDH put, what about people who have dogs and cats as pets?
People who have dogs and cats, as long as you've rescued them, there are plenty of dogs and cats and animals that need rescuing. You can rescue companion animals and then care for them. And by the way, if you rescue dogs and cats, then please feed them a plant-based diet, because it would be, first of all, hypocritical to rescue a dog and a cat and then kill a cow and a chicken and a pig to feed your dog or a cat. And second of all, they live longer and healthier on a plant-based diet. So go to Just Be Kind website, go and look at the studies done by Dr. Andrew Knight, and feed your dogs and cats on a plant-based diet. But people who look after and rescue animals, yeah, but never ever pay for the, in my opinion, slave trade of pets.
Tutu Friendies put, nah, I need flesh.
Why do you need flesh? What a sadistic thing to say. That sounds a bit sadistic. I need flesh.
Gross.
Why do you need flesh? Why do you need the flesh of a tortured, exploited individual who's screamed and suffered on a slaughterhouse kill floor for their life, being killed in front of their friends and family? Because that's the reality for the animals. Remember, we're here not clashing, we're here bringing you the truth. We're not apologising, by the way, for telling you the truth, but we're here to bring you the truth, and then you have the right to then do what you want to do. But we can't make you good people, we can only give you the education so you can make an educated decision.
Exactly.
Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're a vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Go to the link in the description and watch Animal Aid's investigation page. Please double tap the stream to like it. They don't know we're here yet. The gates are still open behind us.
Yeah.
We've crept round the corner. We're
Oh,
on.
there we go, they just spotted us.
Ah, they're here. Do you work for these people here? You don't work here? No, he doesn't work there. He doesn't work there.
Oh, all right.
Subscribe and 1 for vegans, subscribe and 2 for
Oh,
non-vegan.
I just
who are
heard them shout.
open-minded.
They're now shouting in there.
They're shouting.
Yeah, so shout at the animals here, guys.
They do. They do, because animals never willingly walk onto the kill floor, do they? Animals never just walk towards a person with a knife. When you see the footage from inside these facilities, these animals are fearful. They're running for their life. They do exactly what you would do if you were put in a room with someone with a knife trying to kill you. They try and evade death.
The Derangers put, it's natural, mate. Ever heard of the food chain?
Natural, is this natural to you? Of building a facility specifically built and designed to take life. Is that something that's natural? Do you think it's natural that we put the majority of animals in gas chambers all over the world? Do you think it's natural that we force pregnancy onto female animals, steal their babies, steal their breast milk, steal their eggs, then put them all in gas chambers and slaughterhouses? You think that's natural? There is nothing natural in what we do to animals. If you want to look at the natural behavior that humans have towards animals, then look at what children do when they're around animals. All children love animals. No child wants to rip the head off an animal, steal their milk, their eggs and eat them. All children want to love animals, and that is natural. Our natural instinct is to care for animals, but we have conditioning and indoctrination that beats that out of us and then ends up by paying for animals to go inside slaughterhouses. Subscribe. Yeah. Put 1 in the chat if you're a vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations and what we're here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. If being kind to animals upsets you, put a 3 in the chat. Double tap the live stream so we get the likes. How many likes are on there right now?
41 likes right now.
Right, let's get to 50 likes within the next maybe 5 minutes if we can. And please go into the link in the description and go to Animal Aid's investigation and see exactly what happened at the facility we stood right outside of right now.
Awesome, we've got awesome vegans coming in the live chat.
Thanks,
right
guys.
now. Thank you for being here. Number 5 put, humans are carnivores, not herbivores.
No, we're not. Simple answer to that is we're not. This is an appeal to being an apex predator. We like to think that we're a lion. We like to think that we're a wolf. We like to think that we've got this big apex appeal to authority. In fact, we're not. We're not at all.
Zara, I think, can you just leave us be and just eat what we want? We are humans and you can't control us.
Yeah, you're right. We can't control you. But why do you get the right to control the animals? Why don't you let them be? Why do you have the right to control them, to take everything from them, to force them into slaughterhouses, force them into gas chambers, keep them confined in farms, keep them confined in laboratories, keep them confined in zoos and aquariums, keep them confined in the fashion industry in cages, having their skin ripped and feathers ripped off? Why do you get to make all them choices, and why don't they get the freedom that you so rightly feel is your privilege? Disgusting behaviour. You should be vegan.
My so-called life, sorry, a loud truck. They put, we have dominion over all animals.
Dominion means to care for, doesn't mean to oppress and exploit. So if you have dominion over animals, why don't you exercise that dominion and care for them?
Yeah.
Dominion is a word, it's a biblical word most of the time, and it's from the Bible saying that you have dominion over the animals. And then people just take that as the fact that I can do what the hell I want to it. Adults or parents have dominion over their children. But if parents started putting their children inside gas chambers and eating them and saying, God gave me dominion or I have dominion, opinion, people would think that they've gone insane and deranged, but if they're a pig or a chicken or a cow or a fish, that's fine.
Potato find, do you support humane treatment of animals? Could we eat them?
Do I support? No, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. We're not here for animal welfare. We're not here to say that we want bigger cages, greener grass and sharper knives. We're here to say that animals should have two basic fundamental rights: the right to their bodily autonomy and the right to their freedom, right to their life. Let me swap in with Mel.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take over for a little bit. I think that people are going to be coming out in a minute.
Yeah, I can hear shouting in the background. I can hear machinery. I can hear lots of stuff going on behind here. Animals will be turning up here today, guys. We're at a slaughterhouse. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid, who have done an investigation on this place. They saw that they were abusing the animals. They were shouting at the animals. They were swearing at the animals before they shot them in the face. They kill horses here from the horse racing industry. There's someone come out. Man, baby troll, man, baby troll. Guys, don't be like a man, baby troll. Be a number one, someone who is vegan, someone who doesn't oppress animals. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Why do people beep out of anger as they come past? Why is there the anger towards this, do you think?
Yeah, you know what? It's something that I can never understand. And I think it's because people know that vegans are just right. We're just here just defending the animals, and that sometimes makes someone's conscience, like, shut down, I think, sometimes. Sometimes people can become triggered, and sometimes people can become compassionate. The people who are triggered, they beep their horns, they put meat emojis in the comment sections. They basically act like a child, like worse than a child. And then you get some people who go, you know what, yeah, you are right. Like, this is wrong and I don't want to partake in this. And then they give you the thumbs up.
Number 5, Skillsley. We adopted the traits of carnivores from Neanderthals. We hunted mammoths and we still hunt animals to stay alive.
Did you? Did you? You're living right now. You're on YouTube right now. You're talking about you're talking about hunting mammoths. What the hell are you talking about? You're living right now. I'm not talking to you in a time machine. You're here right now.
He's just seen us.
Just seen us. Just seen us. Shame on anyone who works in this slaughterhouse. They're scared that we have a camera. We're not here to do anything else. We're here not to go onto the land, or in any private land. We're here purely to film the animals and document what happens here, and they're afraid of a camera.
What do you predict they're going to do now?
They'll probably come out and shut these 2 big gates here because they don't want you to see anything. So when the animals turn up, this is the lairage here. You see the bit behind me that goes up? That's where the animals be forced onto. This is like the lairage, like a holding area before they get taken to the kill floor. We just film that. We film the animals because when people connect to the animals, they go vegan on the spot. They don't want to partake in this, but they don't want you to see, so they'll shut these big gates likely in a moment.
Buzz put, animals are protein. The human body needs protein to live. Why are we supposed to save them?
Okay, thank you for your comment. And you are basically a product of propaganda. When you say animals are protein, I can say, well, humans are protein. So Jeffrey Dahmer killing humans and eating them, that's fine because humans are protein. In fact, all protein comes from plants. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, and comment. Protein comes from plants, not from animals. Animals eat the plants. You then eat the animal's secondhand protein, but you eat that along with the cholesterol, saturated fats, heme iron. That is all bad for you and is causes our number 1 killer, heart disease.
Plasma 88 put, if I buy my meat from a farmer friend who gives the animals a beautiful life and then I eat them, am I going to hell?
Yeah, absolutely. So you basically are, again, you're a product of propaganda, you're a product of your environment. So if you are consuming animals and you're seeing animals as a use and a commodity for you, that is wrong. But right now you have been lied to. You have a disconnect. When you see a product in a supermarket, you don't see the victim or the animals. Even if the animals that you believe had a really good life, which they don't, no animal does, they still get sentenced to a slaughterhouse to be stabbed in the throat. There's no right way to kill an animal who doesn't want to die, or to kill you who doesn't want to die.
If people want to see more about this particular facility, where can they see it?
Yeah, so in the link in our description, go and look at Animal Aid's investigation. They have done an investigation here. It was actually aired on BBC Panorama, where they kill horses in front of other horses here. They They kill horses in front of other horses here. They also have forged paperwork. They've changed paperwork. They changed microchips from horses because when a horse has an injection called bute, basically they can't be put into the food chain, so they can't profit from them. So what they do is they change the microchips of these horses that have had that, and then they'll put them in the food chain to make profit from them. How disgusting is that? Even talking about putting somebody into the food chain is vile, it's disgusting. And you know what? I remember back in like a few years ago, there was a big horse meat scandal, wasn't there? People were purchasing animal products and being like, oh, this is actually horse meat, and everyone was up in arms. But there's no difference between horse, cows, chickens, turkeys, sheep. We're all the same. We all just look different on the outside, but on the inside, we're the same. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but not vegan yet. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Roblox clears back. Hey, Bert, can I ask a question? Animals eat animals. Why are we not allowed to eat animals?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. We appreciate the questions in this live chat. So animals in the wild, they don't have moral agency, and they're also in a survival situation. They don't have another choice. They don't have any other option. They are trying to survive. Okay, we're not in a survival situation. As much as I hate that, even when they kill the animals, I hate that for the animal who've been eaten. That's horrible. And hopefully one day in the future that can be changed. But right now I'm talking to you. We are living in civilization where you have a choice whether you can choose kindness or oppression towards animals. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but not vegan yet. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, share, comment and subscribe.
Really interesting question here, or interesting point from Muckhan064. I agree not to kill horses.
You agree not to kill horses, so that's the vegan heart. You have that empathy inside of you because maybe you're more connected to a horse. You don't see chevreuil, which is what they call horse meat. You're not conditioned to eat horses as much as you are like cows, chickens and things, but that's basically what you're saying is I wouldn't eat a horse. That's a vegan heart. That's someone who's like, yeah, that's wrong. So it's also wrong for chickens, cows, sheep, pigs to be used in any which way. Just leave them alone. Because if you're not number one, you're someone who oppresses animals. You're someone who pays for slaughterhouses. You're someone who pays for animals to be stabbed in the throat, mutilated, gassed alive, and be killed purely for a taste pleasure or something that you don't need. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but you're not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, comment, share.
There's a comment here that kept coming on yesterday as well. What about Eid, when animals are slaughtered for religious reasons for Eid?
Absolutely disgusting and evil. If you believe that slaughtering someone for your God is good, then you truly have been blinded by the devil. Guys, please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. I'm at a slaughterhouse today, right now behind me. They are killing animals inside this place. At this place, we have witnessed little baby cows who are about the size of a little Labrador going inside this evil place because cows in the dairy industry, they only produce milk because they are mothers. They don't produce milk because they eat grass like I used to believe for 26 years. I used to drink cow's milk. They have to make these cows pregnant. They have to take their babies away from them. The males don't produce milk. They're classed as a waste products and they're taken to a slaughterhouse just weeks old to be killed. Sentenced to a place like this to be stabbed in the throat. The investigation on Animal Aid that you can see in the link in the description shows that there was little baby cows who were slipping over on the kill floor for over 3 hours. Evil, evil. Even if that didn't happen.
Are crying.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
They're really crying in there. Yeah, they're cows in there right now. They're crying in this evil place. They're around people who are going to kill them, who are going to stab them in the throat. Every single animal gets stabbed in the throat. Please don't pay for this. We're here to just defend the animals from you. Okay, if you're not vegan, please subscribe and put 1 in the chat. If you're vegan, subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat. If you are anti-vegan, double tap this live stream, like, share and comment. We're here talking to you because you don't know the industries. We've seen something you haven't seen. We've seen inside these places. In fact, I used to pay for these places to exist for 26 years and I had no idea what I was paying for. I called myself an animal lover. I loved animals, but I didn't connect between the product I was buying, whether that was shoes, leather, wool, fish, chicken, any flesh, to the victim who suffered and was tortured and was killed behind closed doors because I existed. It's going to switch back in with Steve.
Yeah, I just seen a comment there from, I think the handle was called Clegg, saying, do you really think this is going to stop the injustice to animals because they're going to continue to eat pigs and chickens. This absolutely is going to stop the injustice to animals. And I'll tell you why. After you subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to why we're here. Subscribe and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and please share on your socials. Now, the reason why this is going to stop is because all we're doing is showing people the truth behind the lies the industry have put in place of them. When people see the animals and people see the victim, it's different than when you go to the supermarket or the shop and you may see a leather coat, you may see a leather pair of shoes, you may see eggs, milk, or cheese. But when you see the animals at a slaughterhouse and you see the victim's eyes and you see them looking out at them slats, literally bellowing and crying for mercy and hope, it hits different. So good people, when they see that, are affected, and then they change their habits, they change their spending habits, because every time that they spend money, it's a vote to keep the system going. And the more people that stop voting for this to continue to happen to animals, the less the demand is, then these industries will shrivel up and die. That's how we're going to make change. Thousands of people go vegan every single day because of this.
Absolutely. I think Chelsea Fenwick, I think you're the daughter of the farmer, but hey, what place are you at today?
Hey Chelsea, welcome back to the live stream. Thank you for being here again. This place we're at today is F Juries. This is a slaughterhouse here. They actually execute and kill horses, as well as cows, as well as sheep. Now, this place was investigated by Animal Aid back in 2019. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. If you go into the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner and click on the link description, then you can go and see the actual investigation, and you will see the people in that video. It's a short video, so plenty of time to go and watch the investigation and come back to the live stream. You'll see the people in that video in the red coats, and you'll see them here today. They've already come out and they've identified that we're here in the red coats, and you'll recognize them. You'll see the people. This is where we are. We're live at that location to bring you the truth. We're here on the outside, showing you the animals as they go in. Animal Aid went on the inside. They reported things like horses being shot in front of other horses. They reported sheep having their heads cut off within under 20 seconds of having their throat slashed. And we had reports of baby calves being left in knock boxes for over 2 to 3 hours, causing extra alarm, harassment, distress, as these babies were slipping over on the feces and blood from cows previously executed in that box. This is absolutely horrific. We're here today not to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today under our right and freedom of speech and right to protest on public land. Our second disclaimer is we're not here to conflict and point fingers at non-vegans. We're here to simply educate and be the glass wall, be the transparency between the consumer and the public and these industries that exploit animals. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan and being kind to animals upsets you. And please double tap the live stream. Share it on any socials you can so we can get these animals seen today. You got a question?
Yeah, XO put, I have a question. So I'm not vegan, but I'm open-minded. But I am wondering, if I do become vegan, what is good stuff to eat that's vegan? Because I have been thinking of becoming vegan.
Amazing. XO, I want to start by saying welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here and thank you for spending your time here. Time is valuable, time is precious, especially for the animals who are going inside here today. We appreciate you spending your time here with us. Now listen, if you go into our main channel or our live channel, go into the description. John, the bodybuilding vegan, he's also on Instagram, the bodybuilding vegan. He's got free recipes and ebooks. Also Hench Herbivore. If you go to henchherbivore.com, free recipes, free ebooks. Go and click on either one of them two for sort of advice and things for you to eat and change your eating habits. But I want you to go into the description and I want you to watch the investigation done at this slaughterhouse by Animal Aid XO. Please do that as well. Also XO, please go onto YouTube and watch Dominion, and you can get all the information and education on what happens to animals. When you know why you should be vegan, how you become vegan is really, really easy. XO, you've also got our Instagram. Message us on Instagram and we can send you over loads of help and links and resources for you to go vegan. Thank you for spending your time here listening to us.
Yeah, I can't hear something. Sorry if I didn't say that right. They put, I understand what you're doing, and animals deserve rights, but the government even eats animals and encourages people to eat animals. Why does the government do that?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's a really good point, actually. Do you know what? That's one of the best points we've had on these live streams.
Very intelligent.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question, but first of all, I need to just get an understanding of who's in the chat. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. So we we know who's in the stream, please double tap the live stream and hit the share button. So why do the government and why does everyone push these agendas? Because the industries that exploit animals are businesses, and the governments are involved in the businesses. They make money from it themselves. Would you believe even establishments like the RSPCA Assured Scheme, the Royal Society, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, they have an assured scheme which profits off of the body parts of animals killed in slaughterhouses. They're all part of the system. Any studies that come out, go and look at who funded them studies. You got to look at peer-reviewed data, peer-reviewed science. Go and look at the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Go and look at nutritionfacts.org. Go and watch Dominion. Go on to, even if you go onto DEFRA's website and read about animal slaughter, even like read the Animal Welfare at Time of Killing Act. It's chilling. It's chilling. People just think, oh, there's an Animal Welfare at Time of Killing Act, so that's fine. But go and read that act and go and see what little protection the animals have. Bear in mind, we're not here for welfare. We're here for rights. We're outside of a slaughterhouse where animals are being killed. We're here to say that animals should have the right to their bodily autonomy and the right to their life. It's super simple. No welfare, rights.
I can't hear you, that same person, but because I want to become vegan. Someone Seymour put vegan for life. There's a lot of vegans in the chat right now. Amazing.
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much from the animals for going vegan and doing it for them. You'll no longer be responsible for the violence towards industries, are supply and demand industries. You being vegan makes a significant impact on saving lives. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you've already done that and you're already vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations and why we're here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan, if being kind to cows, sheep and chickens upsets you. And please double tap the live stream and share it on your socials. Keep these questions coming, guys, because this is absolutely brilliant. We're live outside of a slaughterhouse in, oh, the smell, in collaboration with Animal Aid. We're here at F Juries. Go into the link in the description, click on the Animal Aid investigation page, and you will see the investigation done 2019 here, where this slaughterhouse was executing horses in front of other horses. They were shooting them, by the way, and there was even a comment that said, don't chop the legs off the little one, they're having him whole. 2 seconds before that, this innocent individual was stood there with all the hope and dreams of freedom that any one of us would have, and then a gun was placed on their forehead, and then their life was taken so someone could eat their body.
Can't even imagine how scary that would be.
Yeah.
It's awful. Sammy Scoots put, why should I be vegan and how will it benefit me?
Okay, first of all, the reason why, Sammy, thank you for your comment. Thank you for being here. The reason why you should be vegan is because if you're not vegan, you're personally responsible for the exploitation and murder of innocent animals who have the same desire to live as you. They're having a subjective experience. They're having an experience of the world. It's their experience, but they're having an experience. They're sentient. They have emotions. They have feelings. They have the ability to feel pain. If you're not vegan, you are personally responsible for the violence and murder of them. When it comes to the benefits of you, we never go vegan because of the benefits to the individual going vegan. Yes, there are an abundance of benefits. Your health benefits, environmental benefits, all sorts of benefits. But these are only benefits. It's like saying I should stop punching my wife in the face because it hurts my hand. Maybe I should use a bat. This is not what we're saying. So plenty of benefits, but focus on the why you should be vegan. Innocent animals are being slaughtered and murdered because you're not vegan. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat. If you're not vegan yet, but you're open-minded to why we're here, thank you for being here. We're not here to clash with you, we're here to educate and converse. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Please click in the description link and go and watch the investigation done at the very facility we stood outside front of right now.
Hensen put, I'm vegetarian with a smiley face.
Okay, Hensen, thank you for being here. Hensen, most people, I'm not saying you are, I'm presuming, most people try and become a vegetarian through ethics. They think that if they don't eat the animals directly, then they're not causing any exploitation or harm.
Guys, it stings here, so sometimes it's hard to talk because it stinks.
Let me explain to you that the dairy industry and the egg industry are standalone industries. Dairy cows and cows exploited for their flesh are 2 different breeds of cows. Dairy cows have pregnancies forced on them. Whether their babies are born male or female, they're taken away. Males are executed because they don't produce milk and they're born into the dairy industry. Females get put into isolation hutches. The mums are then extensively milked until they can no longer produce enough profitable amount of milk. Then they get sent to the slaughterhouse and executed at an average age of 3 to 5 years old. If you are vegetarian because you think it's the ethical and moral thing to do, then you have to be vegan. Being vegan is the only lifestyle that aligns with removing your personal use and exploitation of animals. Subscribe subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you've already done that and you are vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you are not vegan yet, but you are open-minded to why we're here and you're listening to these conversations. And thank you for being here. We're not clashing and we're not judging, we're just talking. Please keep the questions coming in. Oh, the bellows from them cows. It's heartbreaking, guys. In the chat, I want you to know that this is flipping heartbreaking. I can hear the last bellows and cries from the cows that are inside that layer. That layer is the holding area, the building you can see right there. This is where the animals are held before they go forward to be killed. We stand here to show you the truth, but it breaks our hearts. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan, and please double tap the live stream.
Glenside Hot has just put, I'm turning vegan.
Glenside, thank you so much for listening to this and understanding why we're here and being vegan for the animals. You are no longer responsible for the exploitation and murder of innocent beings who are so vulnerable. They're like children. Did you know that chickens who are exploited for their eggs and chickens who are exploited for their meat are also 2 different breeds of chicken? And the chickens that people eat, they're known as broiler chickens. I'll tell you more after you subscribe and put 1 for vegan, subscribe and 2 for non-vegan with an open mind and a kind heart. Subscribe and 3 for anti-vegan and double tap the live stream. The broiler chickens in the meat industry for chickens, they are 42 days old when they get sent to gas chambers. The majority, I'm talking well over 90% of chickens go to gas chambers and are killed using CO2 gas at 42 days old. Now they're grown into the size of an adult's body so fast that their bones break, their organs give up, they have heart failure. We've investigated chicken farms like this ourselves and they are just laid all over the barns, dead on the floor where they have died and suffered from any one of these diseases. They are killed basically in a gas chamber at 6 weeks old as a disabled child. That is what is in all of the sandwiches, all of the chicken flesh that is eaten. This is the industry that you support. Now I'm going to tell you more about it after you subscribe. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're a kind person. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to swap over with Mel. Why don't the industry tell you that? Why didn't the industry tell you that they were 42-day-old disabled babies? Why didn't the industry tell you that they're killed in gas chambers? Because if the industry told good people the truth, good people would remove their support and be vegan. And then what happens? They lose their money, they lose their profits. Guys, this isn't the civilization collapse preventative. This is a business.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Guys, I've just seen in the live chat a lot of people asking about backyard hens. If you are not a farmer but you just have chickens that maybe you've rescued, yeah, let me talk about egg-laying hens. We also have rescued egg-laying hens as well, and we know a lot about them as well. So basically, chickens produce one egg a month naturally, but they have been genetically modified to lay 300 eggs a year. That's all their nutrients are depleted from their body. It's crying inside.
Cry. That goes into my bones. It goes into my heart feels the vibrations of that bellow.
So that's empathy. Sorry guys, the cows are crying so much behind. It stops you as you speak because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Being here and hearing those cries, seeing those animals going inside breaks my heart. But the reason I'm here is because I'm trying to defend them. Because I know good people in this live chat who just don't know the industries, and it's not your fault that you don't know. We're giving you the opportunity to know today. This live stream is a life and death live stream. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. And please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, keep liking, commenting, sharing. We're not here judging you, we're not here hating on you. We're in fact grateful that you're here on this live stream. The way we speak to the workers and this industry is different to how we speak to you guys. You guys may not know better.
This is a great question. Here you go, I got it again. From Clegg, question, what about Chuck? If they were killing sharks for food, would you care? They do. Shark fin soup is an abhorrent industry.
Yeah, they do. I care if they kill anybody. I care if they kill anybody. Anyone that has a brain, a central nervous system, and can feel pain and suffer. They do kill sharks for shark fin soup, and thank you for bringing that up. Basically, the way they kill sharks for shark fin soup is they will catch the shark, they'll get the shark on the boat, and they'll cut their fins off. All their fins. Then they put the shark back into the water. The shark cannot swim without their fins. They literally drown. They drown. Okay, so imagine drowning because someone wants to take a body part of yours to eat and make money from. They call shark fin soup a delicacy in some countries. How evil, how disgusting. But of course they have to do that because if people see it as a delicacy, they'll think, oh, I'll pay more money for that. No, they're so disconnected from the victim. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment. I'm at a slaughterhouse here today in collaboration with Animal Aid, who have done an investigation on this place. Go and have a look at the investigation at the top right-hand corner of this live stream so you can see what they have done to animals. They kill horses here.
Chris Hudson, thank you so much for your comment. Chris, but I'm a number 2. I've just subscribed, but I'm not quite vegan yet, although I understand your argument.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being open-minded. I once wasn't vegan as well, but I said I loved animals. I just didn't know what happened to animals. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube so you can understand what the standard practice is. It's horrific. It's the worst things I've ever seen. You won't be able to make up what happens to animals because your brain is too innocent to even put yourself there. Like, I can't believe the mutilations. I can't believe the forced impregnations that happened to them, the gas chambers. They're crying behind me. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. And subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and please comment.
And the link in the description?
Yeah, and the link in the description to the investigation to what they did in this slaughterhouse is absolutely horrific. Go and see for yourself.
Dumbo Grab's comment here. Hey, what do you think about organic farms that don't abuse animals? By the way, I'm an anti-vegan.
Okay, thank you for your comment. To the last person, just very quickly, whilst you're educating yourself about what happens to animals, make a challenge to yourself to not send any more animals to slaughter whilst you find out, because when you find out, you'll wish you went vegan sooner. And to the person who said about organic farms, all animal farming is the standard practice. It is forcible impregnation, it's mutilations, it's taking away babies, and it's sending them to a slaughterhouse. Abuse and everything happens on those farms. Organic doesn't mean anything to the animals, okay? It's just a word that makes you feel better about paying for the violence that happens towards animals, because this is a business. Like Steve said, this isn't the backbone of civilization. This is an evil business. And what they're doing to animals is so horrific that if you saw the truth, you wouldn't pay for it. So of course, from a business point of view, they want you to feel better about paying for such horrific things by covering it up and telling you words like free range, organic, humane. I fell for it as well. I used to buy cage-free eggs thinking that that's okay. I didn't know that in the egg industry, all the male chicks are classed as a waste product. Let me tell you what happens to them in just a moment. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top and put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you aren't vegan yet, because maybe you don't know the industries. And please subscribe at the top and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. That's someone who likes to abuse animals. So in the egg industry, male chicks, they are classed as a waste product. Basically what they do is on day 1 of life, those cute little male chicks, they go on a conveyor belt that drops straight into a blender, alive. They also would gas them or put them in bags where they suffocate to death.
Dumbo has put there's actually farms that don't do that. I'm sorry how bad the government has got that it's shaped your head like that. We're not talking about farms, we're talking about slaughterhouses as well, by the way.
Yeah, this is why we're at the slaughterhouse, because we're not here about welfare. There's no right way to kill someone who doesn't want to die. There'll be no right way to have you as my slave and treat you really well. And then when you're at 18 months old, I'll send you to a slaughterhouse to be stabbed in the throat or be sentenced to a gas chamber. That would be wrong, and you would beg for your life. The animals beg for their life. They're begging for their life behind me. I don't know if you can hear them, but they are begging for their life behind me. They don't want this to happen. They're individuals just like you and I, and they're very gentle. They're very gentle. They just want to be free. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please keep liking, sharing and commenting.
Anyone joining, where are we today? What are you doing? What's your objective? Is it to rage bait people or what?
No, my objective is to defend animals. First and foremost. And the way I do that is by educating people who don't know these industries. I'm not saying that I need to educate you because you're silly or you're dumb. It's because the industry have lied to you. They put out billions of pounds of propaganda, marketing to fool you. And they have succeeded in fooling you. They succeeded in fooling me and Steve. For 26 years I paid for this industry that I had no idea what I was paying for. Did you know? Yeah.
Oh my God, them fellows.
They're
They must be
begging for
going through
mercy.
into the
They're
kill
begging
floor.
for mercy in there, and I can't save them. I can't save those individuals. I'm too late for them right now.
How terrible is this mindset from Billy Harrington? Animals are inferior to us, therefore they serve us.
That's the reason why we've ever had wars. That's the reason for the human Holocaust. That's the reason why we had slaves, human slaves. That's the reason why women didn't have rights, because someone saw themselves better than someone else. What if the world saw each other as equals? We would never have that superiority complex of such violence that creates wars and holocausts like this. Please defend the animals. Don't be like that person. What made you think that you're so much better than someone else purely because they look different to you? That's racist towards the animals.
Neo1 has put, children need animal products. Depriving is abuse, in my honest opinion.
No, so again, what you're saying is just, it's your anecdotal opinion. That's not fact. So actually, the Nutrition and Dietetics Association, the biggest dietetics association in the world, that are non-biased, so they have no paid studies from any industries, state that you can be healthy on all stages of life, including pregnancy, infancy, bodybuilding, athletes, on a plant-based diet. In fact, naturally, children love animals. I believe it's abuse to give children animal products when they would hate to partake in the violence towards these animals. Just going to switch back in with Steve quick.
Yeah, well said. Really good points there. Guys, I want to make another disclaimer here that we're not here to clash on non-vegans. We're here to educate and show you the truth that the industry tries so hard to hide from you. This is all we're doing. Please keep the comments coming in.
Just look at the propaganda on the side of here.
Propaganda. It's just all marketing. It's marketing for the consumer to make you never think about this ever again.
That stinks.
Smelt bad.
That is body parts in that. That stinks.
Now listen, behind the camera there, while I was looking at the comments, I was seeing a lot of religious excuses. A lot of people saying that God said we can kill animals. As a Christian, it's okay because animals don't have souls. Listen, no religion mandates the eating and exploitation of animals. So therefore, you can have any religious belief that you want in this world and you could still be vegan. So using your religion as a justification to continue to exploit and kill animals is completely wrong. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here today. And thank you for being here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live. We are live here outside of the slaughterhouse. This is F Jury. We invested back in 2019. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. You can go to animalaid.org.uk to have a look at their website and see what amazing we do. And you can also click in the top 3 dots in the top corner and go into the link at the top of that description where it will show you the investigation on the very facility behind me. You will see the facility and you will see what they've done in there. It's shocking.
Linux, acting like I don't know what a slaughterhouse is.
You don't know what a slaughterhouse is. Trust me. If you're just a general member of the public, you have zero idea about animal farming, animal agriculture, and animal slaughterhouses. You wouldn't even begin, your brain wouldn't even begin to apprehend what happens inside these facilities. This is why we make it our life's mission to bring what happens inside, in the darkness, out into the light. Because when good people see this, they connect with the animals. You're disconnected at the moment. You see a burger, you see a chicken breast, you see a block of cheese, you see leather trainers, you see a leather jacket, you see cosmetics. You don't see the victimization, the exploitation, the commodification, and the violence behind their products. This is why we're here. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation and you're a good person. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream for context. It smells so bad here because animals are being killed behind us right now. And I believe we just heard the bellows from the kill floor.
Yeah, they're crying. Just so everyone knows, we are aware that our signal is going up and down, but we're staying still, so the signal will come back. Stay on the live stream. Dumbo put, so apparently if you care about life so much, don't you know plants are actually living things without thoughts?
We don't care about life, we care about sentience. Life and sentience is very, very different. I'll explain to you what I mean about it, but let me just get an idea of who's in the room. Subscribe and 1 for vegans, subscribe and 2 for non-vegans, and subscribe and 3 for anti-vegans. Double tap the live stream, and if you can, share it on your socials. Now, when you talk about life and sentience, plants are alive, they're living, but they don't have a system, they don't have a brain, they're not having a subjective experience of the world. Therefore, you can't exploit them, you can't oppress them because they're not a sentient being, whereas all these animals are. You would, to steelman your point, you would say that mowing the lawn is the same as throwing a load of chickens into an open blender. This is the analogy. If we're consistently open to these conversations, subscribe put free in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the like. Please like, share, and subscribe. To just give you the transparency that this industry works so hard to keep secret. The industry don't want you knowing these facts. The industry don't want you knowing about slaughterhouses. The industry don't want you seeing animals coming to these places. This is why they're so sharp. Look at all the gates closed behind us.
Someone just come in the room saying, hey, you're back again. Where are you today? Adam, put that.
Adam, thank you and welcome back to the live stream. We're at F Juries. This is a slaughterhouse where they execute cows, sheep, and they also execute horses at this very facility. It was investigated back in 2019 by Animal Aid. The investigation link is in the description of this live stream. Please click on the top 3 dots and have a look at that and go and watch it for yourself. It's only about 2-3 minutes long, so there's plenty of time to go and watch that investigation and then come back. Go and watch it, come back into the live stream and let us know what you think of it. When I watched it, I see a lot of animal houses and it was harrowing, it was heartbreaking. They shot a horse in front of another horse and said, leave the legs on the little one, they're having him whole. That gives you a little bit of context of what you'd see. And if you don't want to click on that link because you don't want to see it, that's a good indication of what your ethics and your morals are pointing you towards, and that's being vegan. Got a question?
Adam put, is this the Animal Aid documentary? Because I have watched that. Yes.
Yeah, I know, Adam, yeah, absolutely. You may even recognize this is the layerage on the way up. This is the sort of where the animals go in, and you'll see the people come out in a minute. They have the same red coats and the white wellies. They're still all the same here. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream. We've got over 200 likes now.
195 likes.
195, so let's get over 200 likes and let's get these animals seen. And I just want to reiterate our disclaimers that we're not here to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're not here today to clash with non-vegans and point fingers at you. We're here today to converse, to show you the truth, show you the reality. We are simply the messenger. I don't know why this message is met with such violence and such hatred. We're simply saying, guys, let's be kind to cows, to sheep, to chickens, to pigs. Subscribe and 1 if you've already done that and you're vegan. Subscribe and 2 if you've not done that yet but you're a kind person and you're listening to what we're saying. Subscribe and 3 if you're vegan. Double tap the live stream. Please go and click on the link in the description and watch that from Animal Aid.
We got Mapping FR, who is adamant that you should eat outdoor animals.
Why should you eat outdoor animals? What is it about outdoor animals that indoor animals don't have, that it's okay to exploit outdoor animals but not indoor animals? It makes no sense. People come up with these really weird constraints and really weird like forms of logic to only eat outdoor animals. Animals are sentient, they're having a subjective experience of their life, they should have the right to their bodily autonomy and their right to their freedom. Simple as that. Guys, do you know that they kill sheep here? Sheep are exploited from the wool industry as well. Sheep are not just exploited for their flesh. The wool industry is a standalone industry. Wool is a co-product of sheep flesh. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat. You are anti-vegan, double tap the live stream and watch the link in the description. Sheep have been genetically modified to grow so much wool that they need shearing for their, otherwise they can have all sorts of health implications. But do you know what farmers do to try and prevent the health implications? Because there are so many sheep being forced into existence in a really horrific way, by the way. If you go to our main channel and look at our main channel shorts, we've done a little educational clip the other day showing you exactly what happens to sheep and how they make sheep pregnant. Yeah. But they do something to sheep called mulesing, where they literally slice the back of their legs open to cause scar tissue so that no wool grows there, so they don't get fly stroke when they go to the toilet. They also tie rubber bands around their tails, or they clip their tails and cut their tails off. This is the sheep industry. And then farmers come out and say that they're ethical, humane, and they care about animals. I don't think so. Yeah. You got a question?
Yeah, so the reason Mapping keeps putting outdoor animals is because they think that you can eat animals that don't suffer. So they've been
Mapping, thank you for being here. Thank you for this comment. I'm going to raise this, the answer to your question after everyone subscribed and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, let us know. Subscribe and 2s for non-vegans, subscribe and 3s for anti-vegans. Please double tap. We over 100 yet?
203, let's get to 250 now.
Please also on your socials so that everyone else can also be educated on this information. People are indoctrinated and conditioned by the welfare acts, all right? I reckon 99.9% of the population of humans do actually consider animal welfare, and they do want animals to be looked after and to have the kindest care and attention, because I think the majority of people do love animals. Look at it from a child's point of view. When you're a child, you loved animals, and that is still inside you. The want to love and nurture animals is still inside you, but the world has indoctrinated you and conditioned you. So this is where the desire welfare comes deep down in our core, we care about animals. So it's easy to say, let's do it, but let's just do it really nicely because I don't want the animals to suffer. I don't want the animals to be hurt. But listen, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. There is no humane slaughter. It's an oxymoron. It doesn't work. Just by putting the word humane in front of stabbing or gassing somebody doesn't make the act okay, especially in the eyes of the victim. If you are someone who considers the welfare of animals, I challenge that and I say go all the way and consider the rights of animals. It's the only way to truly be ethical and moral towards them is to morally consider them and not oppress and exploit them. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here. Thank you for being here. Please drop your questions in the chat. Subscribe and free if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. We're here with Animal Aid. Please go in the description and look at the investigation on the facility that's right behind us right now.
Yeah, we've got Lottie who seems really nice. She said, I'm genuinely curious. I work on a rescue centre. That's awesome. And we do shear sheep, not to sell, but so they don't overheat. Why do sheep produce so much wool?
Lottie, thank you for being here and thank you for that point.
Yeah.
Lottie, you raise a really important point. That even when animals are rescued from the industries that have exploited them and they luckily find themselves up at a sanctuary or a rescue centre, the exploitation put upon their body, the genetic manipulation never leaves them. They're still a victim of the industry, even though they can be rescued and taken out. And what Lottie is pointing out is exactly true. These sheep now need to be sheared for the rest of their life because they've been genetically modified to produce so much wool. If they don't, when they go to the toilet, it gets stuck on the wool and they can get fly strike, get all sorts of bacterial infections, and they can be like really poorly, they can die from it. So these sheep that are at Lottie's rescue will now have to be sheared every single year. But listen, I've seen sheep being sheared on a farm, and I've seen sheep being sheared at a sanctuary. And at a sanctuary, it's a lot different when they're at the farm. They look after you. When you see sheep shearing, don't just think that sheep are having a haircut. It's brutal, it's horrific. Yeah. They often get slashed open with the clippers and they just get stitched up with no anesthetic. Blood everywhere. I've seen, imagine like the little skin that you get like in your legs here. One of the clippers, I've seen that get sliced open. They flip the sheep on their back. It's absolutely horrific. Don't let the wool industry fool you that sheep are just having haircuts and giving the farmer their like offcut their hair. This isn't the case. They're genetically modified, they're exploited. It's a standalone industry. It's absolutely disgusting.
The shearers actually are paid by sheep, so they basically, in like a time, so they have to basically shear really fast to get as much money as possible from them. Basically, after they shear them, they cut them all the time. They will stitch them up with no anesthetic or anything. It's horrific, but yeah, sheep have been genetically modified to grow too much wool. The natural sheep would molt like your dog and cat does summer and winter, but they've done this because they wanted to profit from the wool of the sheep. Sheep are also killed for the wool industry, but if you rescue a sheep, yeah, you will have to shear them for their own benefit, but it's not obviously to profit from them. So you're not exploiting them by doing that, you're doing that because they need that. Please subscribe in the chat, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment. I'm at a slaughterhouse today. Behind me, I've been listening to the cries of these poor cows behind me. They're likely cows from the dairy industry. Did you know in the dairy industry, cows don't just produce milk because they eat grass, they produce milk because they are mothers. They produce milk because they had pregnancy forced upon them by the farmer. They put her in something called a cattle crush, which is a big cage that goes around her, locks her head in, and she can't move, but the farmer has access to her back end. He puts this long glove on and puts himself inside of her and then injects her with bull semen to make her pregnant. She carries her baby for 9 months. Please subscribe 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but you're not vegan yet. And please subscribe at the top, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. What happens then is when she gives birth to her baby, if she gives birth to a female, the female is taken away from her almost immediately. Cows are extremely maternal animals. They cry for their babies and they try and escape the farm to look for their babies as well. I've seen that with my own eyes. It's heartbreaking, it's torment. Then the female will get put into an isolation booth away from her mum, alone, until she is sexually mature enough to then get pregnant and then go into the milking system where they exploit her for her milk. If she gives birth to a male, let me explain to you in just a moment what happens to him. If you please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top of this live stream and put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. So if the mother gives birth to a male, he'll still be taken away from her, but what happens to him is he'll get sentenced to a slaughterhouse. Like this. We've seen them here ourselves. I'm going to show you later in the live stream the individuals we've seen, tiny little baby cows going in, can hardly walk, going into these evil place here where they'll be stabbed in the throat because someone's drinking the cow's milk intended for him.
I think them bellows are from the knife. It sounds to me. I don't know, I could be wrong. But
No,
that bellow sounds like, you know, like the moment that they have the knife put in their throat.
They're the screams, yeah. So when we hear the cows cry, it's not like a moo that you would hear in the fields. It's a screech. They're screaming for their lives inside these places, just like you and I would scream for our lives. It must be terrifying, and it's heartbreaking to be here listening to their cries, knowing I can't get in there without me being arrested. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. How many likes have we got in here?
212. Let's get 250.
250 as soon as possible. The reason why we concentrate on likes is because that's what gets the algorithm pushed out so that more people see the animals.
Deb Dan 1972, but genuine question. What do you think about hunters?
Yeah, thank you for your question. I think if you can take a weapon and shoot someone vulnerable, I think that's horrific. I think that speaks a lot about you as a person. Most people couldn't do that. Most people who are still disconnected from a product that they pick up in a supermarket, they don't see the violence behind that. But when you're a hunter, there's no disconnection. You're doing it and you know what you're doing. It's like being the worst kind of bully because you're shooting someone, they don't even have weapons to defend themselves or anything. Sorry, there was loads of trucks. I didn't know if there was a truck coming in here. Yeah, I think that's horrific. You can just be vegan. Hunters, in my opinion, are extremely weak individuals and they don't need to do what they do, but they may have been conditioned by their family. Break that cycle of tradition and what happens, because violence is never okay. Oppression to someone else is never okay. I'm here defending the animals, and the way I do that is by showing you the reality. Let me just a second. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment.
I'm just going to put mapping into a timeout because they keep putting eat animals that lived outdoors. Put number 4 if you agree. Notice no one's putting number 4s in there. No one agrees with that mindset.
I don't understand why someone would come in here to try and persuade people to be violent towards animals, whether they're outside, indoors, whatever, organic, free range. The animals are all killed, they're all exploited. They're exploitation camps. That's what they are, where they are, wherever they are, okay?
Billy Harrison thinks hunters are the strongest among people. They are in touch with nature. Vegans are the strongest among people.
Yeah, vegans are the strongest people who see an injustice, who are heartbroken, who then defends those animals. Have you ever stood outside a slaughterhouse where you've touched the nose of an individual who's about to be stabbed in the throat, who is crying, looking out at you, and you can't get in there to save them? This is all about supply and demand, okay? That's why I'm here. Is there a question?
Great question here from Adam Day. Adam Day put, as a Christian, one of the 10 commandments of thou shalt not murder. Do you think that this applies to the animal farmers as well?
What do you mean, animal farmers?
It's basically, I think the question is, as a Christian, it's thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
Does that apply to animals as well? But not just the farmers, it should apply.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't say humans. It says thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal. The fact, if you're not vegan, you are stealing the breast milk, the eggs, the flesh, literal body parts of animals who wanted to live. If you're not vegan, you're also paying someone to kill those animals. Those are the 2 first commandments. I mean, it's just so easy to be vegan and be kind. I don't understand why people find it so, I don't understand why people do excuses to oppress baby animals. They want to live just like you and I. They cry just like you and I. They're the same as us in all the ways that matter, in all the ways that make us who we are. Animals have that too. This is about supply and demand. So yeah, I'm too late for the animals. I'm too late for them. If I went in there, I'd be arrested. There's police driving up and down, probably keeping an eye on us as well. But this is supply and demand. This is just a business. If you pay their wage, they keep doing this. This is why vegans are people who just don't pay them. It's a non-action to be vegan. Vegans just don't oppress animals, because when you don't oppress animals and when you don't pay their wage, these industries collapse. This is a war that is in our hands to stop.
Makaruzi, thank you for being here. Makaruzi 4563, but I'm open-minded. conversation.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending the time on this live stream. This is so important. The message we have is so important. It's not a message from us, it's a message from the animals who are being killed behind me right now. This place kills horses, it kills sheep, baby cows, and other animals as well. Please go and watch Dominion on YouTube to see what happens to animals if you are open-minded, the standard practice. Did you know that the majority of the way they kill animals is gas chambers? Gas chambers. Piglets at 6 months old get forced into CO2 gas chambers where they burn from the inside out. In this place behind me, I think it's one of the 3 slaughterhouses that have the license to kill horses. There was an investigation done here by Animal Aid. Go and have a look in the link in the description at that investigation, and you'll see what these kind of people do to these beautiful animals who trusted us. In fact, if people often say we have dominion over animals. We'll take that as a responsibility to look after them, not oppress them.
Absolutely. Well said. Let me swap in here. Guys, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Put 2 in the chat if you're vegan, not vegan. You have to subscribe to chat, but let us know. Also, please go into the description and click on the link to the investigation done by Animal Aid here in 2019. This is F. Jury and Sons. This place was investigated in 2019, and the findings were absolutely horrific. Shooting horses in front of other horses, decapitating sheep within 20 seconds of slashing their throats, and leaving baby animals inside the kill floor knock blocks for 2 to 3 hours, causing extra alarm, harassment, or distress. You got a question?
We've got Pokey Jason, who is back, that says, I'm vegan.
Amazing.
And then we got Billy, who puts, animals get killed for vegan products too.
I presume you're talking about, sorry, I just thought there was a truck coming. The sound of that sounded like a truck.
Yeah, there's so many trucks coming by.
I presume you're talking about crop deaths on like arable farming. And absolutely, at the moment, yeah, there is incidental deaths on crops, and no, vegans don't like it. And the fact of the matter is, this can also be avoided. We have organic farming systems like vertical farming, underground farming, hydroponic farming. We can do all this farming without the pesticides, without the animal deaths, and with all that incidental crop deaths. But the trouble is that when we can't convince farmers to stop forcing pregnancies on animals, smashing their heads on the floor if they can't grow quick enough, forcing them inside gas chambers, sending them to slaughterhouses to be killed, how are we ever going to convince arable farmers to stop shooting birds, rabbits, and using pesticides to kill insects when we can't convince other farmers to stop exploiting other animals in that way? When we do have vegan farmers, there are organic farming systems that will eradicate deaths, but you're expecting perfection before you're even willing to do the right thing. We only get a system change by people doing the right thing. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you are vegan. Is that a truck?
No animals here. So we can hear trucks like from miles away now, can't we?
I heard the squeak of the trailer.
Yeah.
Guys, subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, and subscribe. We're here today live outside of a slaughterhouse. Why would vegans go to a slaughterhouse to live stream? Why would we come to the most upsetting place in the world for us to live stream? We're here because we need to defend the animals by showing you, the public, the truth that the industry don't want you to see. The industries that exploit animals completely rely on secrecy. They don't want you to know. Why have they got these big metal? Why can you not see a thing? Why can you not see a thing in there? These are new metal doors that they've put on the layerage over there.
Yeah, they are.
They've got new metal doors over there on the right. This place is starting to really shut up shop. Why? Why don't the industries that exploit animals, when activists turn up, why don't they invite us in? It would be the best PR stunt for them, wouldn't it? If we turned up with a live stream camera and said, we want to show the world what happens to animals. If what happens to animals is humane and ethical, then why don't they say, yeah, come on then, come in, stand there, and you can watch the animals come into the layerage, you can watch us walk them onto the kill floor, you can watch us bolt gun them, electrocute them, you can watch us hang them up by one leg and stab them in the throat, you can watch us rip the skin off their bodies, you can watch us cut the flesh from them, you can watch us cut the babies out of their stomachs. That's right. In the dairy industry, over 20% of mothers go to the slaughterhouse pregnant because dairy cows are sold on weight in their last moments. They're not the same as meat cows. They're dairy cows, 2 different breeds of cows. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're here today live outside of a slaughterhouse to bring the consumer and the public the truth and reality from an industry that relies on secrecy. We're here today not to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today under our right to public assembly and our freedom of speech. We're here to defend the animals. We're here to get this message to good people with kind hearts so they go vegan. was that. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid. If you go into the 3 dots, go into the description and click on the Animal Aid link and you'll see the information right at F Juries back in 2019 and you will be shocked with what you see. Go watch it, come back to the live stream and tell us what you think. Have you got any questions?
I'm just trying to see if there's any questions. There's just a lot of people saying, we love meat, we love meat. It's very easy to say that, but will you actually look at what you pay for?
When people say that, it's like a chimp paradox. It's like, we love this is my meat, this is my cheese, this is my eggs. It's like the chimp paradox. You're not actually allowing the information that's hitting your ears to sink past that chimp on the desk and go into your brain. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube if you don't want to listen to what we're saying. Now, no one goes vegan because they stop liking the taste of meat or eggs or dairy. They go vegan because they see the violence and the exploitation behind it. It's as simple as that. And then when you go vegan and you realize that all this stuff happens to animals, you go and buy the vegan burger and you eat the vegan burger and you go, you know what, it tastes even better. You go and get the oat milk and you go, this tastes even better. You get the Alpro yogurt, the Alpro custard, tastes even better. And all of a sudden you realize, now nothing changed for me. In fact, it's got better and I'm no longer responsible for animals going to slaughterhouses and being killed.
Matt Jones have just gone vegan.
Amazing. That's like the 7th or 8th person that's gone vegan today.
Yeah.
Just from seeing, hearing what we're saying. That's amazing. When people with compassionate hearts hear the truth and see the truth, they go vegan. And this is a result, and this is why we do what we do. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan already. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream.
What about dogs? Can they be vegan?
Dogs should be vegan, because how can you morally execute a cow to kill a dog, to feed a dog? What if dogs could only eat dogs? Would you sit 2 dogs in front of each other? How would you choose what dog to kill to feed the other dog? It's absolutely immoral to kill chickens, cows and sheep to feed your dog. Not only that, the studies have now been proven, Dr. Andrew Knight has proven that dogs good, the signal good, the audio is good. Connections here are pretty bad. This is why we've stayed here today, to make sure the signal stays strong. Let me just tell you where we are if you're just joining this live stream. We're live outside of the slaughterhouse. This slaughterhouse is horses. They're investigating.
But we need meat, protein, idiots.
Protein, all names to you. So don't call us names for trying to defend baby for it. We can have an educated discussion with name calling. You know, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Now, all protein comes from plants. It actually comes from the amino acids in the soil during photosynthesis. If you understand what photosynthesis is, you'll understand what amino acids are and how they come from the soil. So what happens is synthesis and the soil creates the amino acids. They then get fed to these animals that then the amino acids animals' bodies secondhand. Protein comes. You can get every single nutrient, micronutrient, every vitamin, every mineral you need can come from a plant-based source. So why not choose that? It's the more moral and more ethical. So it's obviously the one we should select. Guys, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat. If you are anti-vegan, double tap the live stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're here today not to clash with non-vegans. Notice that we're not calling anyone names, despite people calling us idiots in the chat, even though that the comment they put was fairly idiotic. It was completely wrong.
Yes.
We're here today to just educate you and show you the truth, because when you see the truth, when you hear the truth, you can make an educated decision. Right now, the truth has been removed. There's not even transparency. You have lies there.
Seagull put, it's not the humane slaughterhouses you need to go to, it's the halal ones. What is this one?
There is no humane slaughterhouse. And I believe that this slaughterhouse here does halal slaughter as well as stun slaughter. Saying a prayer before you stab someone or shooting them in the face before you stab someone makes no difference to the individual who's being stabbed. It doesn't matter, religious slaughter or stun slaughter. The animals, the victims, are having their life taken for optional products. If you're against halal slaughter, why aren't you against stun slaughter? What is it against halal slaughter that you're against? Are you against the slaughtering of the animals, or are you just picking something to be against that religion? Are you being, subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Yeah, and in fact, you would never know the difference between halal and stun because it's the same. You just don't realise it's exactly the same
just put a
thing.
There's a label on it. It makes the public not think about it.
Yeah. Who are we here with? What's happening behind us? We've got
Guys,
people
we're
coming into the room.
live outside of a slaughterhouse here today. It is the 30th of July. It is 11:34. We are here outside of F Jewelries. This is a slaughterhouse that was investigated by Animal Aid, who we are in collaboration with. They came here in 2019. They put covert cameras inside this place, and it was actually on BBC Panorama, the findings that they got from here. They found horses being shot in front of other horses. They had sheep having their heads cut off, under 20 seconds of having their throats slashed, and they had baby calves, little baby calves in knock boxes for 2 to 3 hours whilst they slipped and slid all over the floor with the blood of previous victims. It's absolutely horrific, and if you want to go and see it for yourself, click in the 3 dots in the top right hand corner, click on the link in the description and go and see it for yourself. I'm going to swap in with Mel.
I've just seen a comment from Millie that said, I'm not vegan, but I think this is disgusting or horrific or something. Millie, you probably remind me of me before I was vegan. Someone who I just loved animals, but I didn't know what happened to animals. Please go and watch Dominion on YouTube. Go and see what happens to animals, because if you think this is disgusting through our words, we've not even touched the surface of what animals face in these places. Did you know that pigs at 6 months old are sentenced to a gas chamber? Little piglets who did nothing wrong, they were just born into a different body to you and I. They scream. We've been at these places ourselves, at Pilgrims, not too far actually. We've been outside these places listening to their screams.
Millie Expert, thank you so much. I really want to go vegan.
Oh, amazing. No worries at all. Please also follow us if you have any questions. We have Instagram. You can message us on there. But there's also help in the link as well to go vegan. Basically, veganism is just ethical position against the oppression of animals. So we don't use them or like wear them for like my makeup. My shoes are all vegan. Everything I have is just a vegan alternative. You can still get vegan burgers, vegan kebabs, vegan pizzas, but the animals are left alone and not exploited. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Please subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Anti-vegan is pro-exploitation of animals. That's someone who likes to abuse and stab animals in the throat. Is there any questions in the live stream?
Blob Zadata, I think, is a little bit confused.
Yeah.
I eat animals that die of natural causes, and my dad, the owner of the farm, believes that they should have a good life.
Oh, okay, so you don't eat animals that die of natural causes. Your dad sends the animals to a slaughterhouse as babies. Beef cows go to the slaughterhouse at 18 months old. Dairy cows have pregnancies forced upon them. They have their babies taken away. Their babies are killed because they steal the breast milk intended for them to feed to you because they want your money. All the cows in the dairy industry are killed. What farm does your dad have? Because he's obviously lying to you at the moment, and that may be a hard realization to understand. This is why we have two daughters of farmers in the live stream who have gone vegan because they've seen what happens to animals, and now they're trying to get their parents to change their farms into sanctuaries or to diversify. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment.
And if you want to see more, where can they click on?
Oh, yeah, so we're here in collaboration today with Animal Aid. So this place behind me has been investigated. Go and have a look at the link in the description in the right-hand corner of this live stream. It was aired on BBC Panorama. They kill horses here, they kill sheep here, they kill baby cows here, and beef cows, and there's a truck coming. Are they coming in here?
It's an animal truck?
Yep, trailer here. I think they're coming in.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
No, they're driving past.
Driving past.
No, empty. I wonder if they're driving past until we're gone.
There was no animals in there, I could see.
Maybe they're going to
Or maybe
pick
they're
them
going
up.
to pick animals up.
Yeah, guys.
Why do they do that? Why do slaughterhouses do that? What do they do?
House is a place where animals from factory farms, small holding farms, where it comes to the same place to be stabbed in the throat with the same knife. Doesn't matter where they come from. Even the animals you see in fields all get killed as babies. What they do, the animals don't want you to see the animals. Can you see? Yeah.
Okay, I believe we're back on. Let's just do a little signal check.
Okay, guys, let us know if the signal is okay. I'm going to explain why vegetarian is not okay. And if the signal isn't okay, then I'll just re-explain it again. Vegetarian is still someone who exploits and uses animals. Vegetarian is just a diet, but in fact, the studies show that when you go vegetarian, you eat more cheese and more eggs, which is more abusive than the meat industry itself, and it is the meat industry. But vegan is an ethical stance against the use and exploitation of animals. So being vegan is the baseline. It's not something you aspire to be, it's just a non-action. You just don't pay someone to exploit animals for you. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. And please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. That's someone who is pro-exploitation.
Adam Dave's been putting some really good questions in here. Adam, I'm sorry, I was going to come back to your question, but it all got a bit... Adam's got 2 questions. The first question was basically amongst using pesticides on crops. And how do we feel about that? The second question is, how do they mass slaughter fish? Because I'm still confused on how they do that. So Seaspiracy might be a really good documentary.
Absolutely. Go and watch Seaspiracy. It's actually really interesting. Fish aren't talked about enough, so thank you so much for bringing them up. They basically have big trawler nets in the sea, which not only capture the fish they want, but it also captures the dolphins and sharks and all sea life in there, along with destroying the oceans. They leave obviously all their plastics and nets in the sea, which animals suffocate and die and drown from those nets. They also will bring them into a big area where they'll basically just whack them with these sharp sticks in the head, and they suffocate on ice for ages. The fish get put onto ice and they literally suffocate to death. They're gasping for air. It's horrific. I think fish experience such torture. It's so sad. But because fish can't scream and you can't hear their cries, they're not spoken about enough and people struggle to connect with them. But fish feel pain just like you and I, and in fact they might even feel more pain because they have peripheral nerves on the outside, so they can determine what the water is doing, what the current is doing. The other thing you said was crops.
Before you go to that, I just want to make a point. Millie, I can see that people are trying to comment and put things against you, and I know you're here to learn and listen to us. Millie, on our Instagram, message us on Instagram if people are getting in the way. We can just send you links to things and we can get back to you if it gets too much in that chat.
Yeah, Millie, the thing is, but I didn't know this before I went vegan and tried to defend animals, but when you try and defend animals, a lot of people actually become really horrible to you. So please ignore them. Thank you for being a light for the animals, because the animals really need people like you. They need people defending them, even when people are being horrible, because animals are being killed and they just don't know yet. So thank you for being here, and I'm sorry for any hate that you're receiving right now. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
The second point was pesticides on crops.
Yeah, I was going to go into that. Thank you for your comments. So pesticides on crops. Basically, we need crops to survive, or we have civilization collapse. We will have no food, because the animals that people are consuming eat plants. The majority of plants are actually fed to animals. So if you do worry about crop deaths or pesticides, the majority of plants are being fed to 90 billion animals that are forced into existence every year. There's actually only 9 billion humans on the planet. So if we got rid of animal agriculture, we'd have abundance of food and we'll have so much less crop deaths. The reason we need to protect our crops is because we need that. We have a justification to do that. Just like if, say there was like some crazy humans who went into all the crop fields and they were destroying all of our food, we would have a justification to do whatever means necessary to remove those humans, because we need those plants for civilization. Now, there is a way you can ethically farm plants. In fact, they're doing it even in London Underground. There's like an empty underground station that they're doing vertical farming, where there'll be 0 deaths whatsoever. But until that point comes, like, animals are being exploited and used on purpose for things like meat, eggs, dairy, fish, leather and wool. But people don't know what happens inside. So please go and look in the link in the description. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube. Go and see the investigations done by Animal Aid. There is no right way to do the wrong thing. A lot of people say, what about local, free-range, organic? It's still no different to the animals. It's just their marketing to you. These industries are not what we need in society. This is just a business that is built on exploitation. So we don't need this to survive. They're an evil industry, and they know that people are good people. They know that people are just a number 2 who don't know. So the best thing for their business is to put out propaganda and lies to say, we love our animals, the animals die humanely, but there's no humane way to kill someone who doesn't want to die. They're being stabbed in the throat, they're being gassed alive, they're being blended up alive in the egg industry. All egg-laying hens get sent, majority of them, to the gas chamber.
Millie's just followed us on Instagram, so she can message and we can give her resources
Awesome.
if she wants stuff later on.
Awesome.
Thanks, Millie.
Thanks, Millie. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat. If you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Jamal put, a genuine question, would you stop supporting a cause if you found out that the product you consumed was created through unethical and immoral practices?
If it was the exploitation that I was paying for every day and there was someone else being stabbed in the throat or blended up alive, forced into gas chambers because of my choices, that I could stop immediately, then yes, of course I would stop. There's no justification. If there's no necessity to do something, then there's no justification. There's no necessity to exploit animals and use them as slaves and commodify them or eat fish or eat flesh or eat eggs or dairy or use someone's skin, feathers or wool. There's no justification for that, and in fact, we should protect them with everything that we have.
This is massive. Chelsea Fenwick Music put, I took your advice from the last time I was watching your live. We've now cut off selling our animals, our cattle, our animals, and we're even accepting injured and rescued animals.
Oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps. That is amazing. I am so pleased. Well done. Well done for doing that, by the way. You saved those animals. Yeah.
I feel a bit emotional there.
So, Chelsea, I hope you don't mind me saying that, has been in a few live streams where actually, I remember you saying we butted heads a little bit because you cared about animals, but maybe didn't quite know yet. And then you came back and said, yeah, you're right, I looked into it, it's horrific. And now you're here saying you're stopping selling the animals.
Rescued animals and stopping, that's amazing.
That is the heart of most people. It's just that most people don't know. You know what? There are so many people who are born into a farming family who just don't realise the industry because it's like the conditioning is kind of the norm. You know what? I don't know if you'd be up for it, but I'd love to interview you on what you did so that it could help other farmers in the future who want to go vegan and stop farming to understand how that they can stop. Thank you so much for coming and letting us know that. That's amazing news. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream, keep like, sharing and commenting. I'm just going to switch.
Absolutely, I'm so pleased I'm animal. That's incredible.
That's the light in the world.
Yeah, comment I read there was someone said your clothes are made from animals. Absolutely not. Our clothes are all vegan, synthetic fibres. We would never stand here trying to defend the rights of animals whilst wearing their skin. But thank you so much for raising a really valid point. Veganism is not a diet. An ethical position against exploiting and using animals. So we'd never use them in clothing, we'd never use them for fashion, entertainment, or any testing. It's a great point you make. Thank you for being there. You got a question?
Oh, Chelsea put, I would love to. I'm only 14, probably will be allowed to. Yeah, no worries. Maybe when you're older, we can reconnect. At 14 years old, you have had the power to defend those animals and save those animals because you are open-minded.
You should be so proud of yourself. Chelsea, you should be really proud of yourself. You may have connected with the animals through what we were saying, but you had the bravery to stand up as a minority against a system which is pretty evil, and you've done that yourself. So incredible, well done. That's really good. You should be really proud of yourself.
Adults should look at what Chelsea's doing.
What a great example. Chelsea is making most adults in this live chat look like children. Yeah. She's got more maturity than most adults have in this live stream.
Yeah, amazing. I love birds, but I am vegan. Choose peace.
Absolutely. Choose peace. It's as simple as that. The vegan message, right? I would understand the violence and I'd understand the pushback if we were saying, guys, let's gather up all the animals and let's oppress them, let's hurt them. Look, we can chop this bit off of them, we can cut that off of them, we can take their babies. I'd understand people being aggressive towards us if that was the message. But when we're stood here saying, guys, did you know that cows only produce milk because they're mums? Did you know that sheep have been genetically modified to grow so much wool that they have to have the backs of their legs slashed open, their testicles and tails chopped off, and they have to be forced to be pregnant by being put in some torture device upside down and have tubes shoved inside their belly? Did you know all this stuff? Maybe we should leave animals alone, realise that they're here with us, not for us, realise that they're having a subjective experience, that there's someone, that we should morally consider them. This is the message of peace, it's a message of kindness. Why is it met with such anger and violence? Yeah. You got another question?
Yeah, Millie just put, she's messaged us on Instagram, can't wait to chat. Amazing. Thank you for messaging.
Millie, thank you so much for being here.
And Was Boz put, animals are made to be eaten.
No, they're not. Animals are not food. Animals are not products. Animals are not commodities. Animals are individuals. Animals are having a subjective experience of their own life. Did you know some facts about animals that may shock you? Do you know that pigs will sing to their babies to get them to go to sleep? And they also bring flowers to where they are for aesthetical reasons, to make it nice for their babies. Mother pigs will be so attentive to their children. They sing them to sleep. Did you know that about pigs? I bet you didn't know that about pigs. They're not just food, they're not bacon sandwiches. They're animals having a subjective experience of their life who have the ability to feel pain and suffer, and we should leave them alone. I'm going to answer Mel's question after I just ask you to do one thing for us. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream. And we are here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. They've done an investigation on the facility behind us. Please go into the description, click on the link and watch that investigation. What's the question, Mel?
So we've got the Welsh bloke put, go to a farm and talk to the farmers and learn about farm life.
We did. Go to our main channel, go to our purple channel, It's Mel and Steve, and go and look at our last long form video. We wandered onto a dairy farm in broad daylight and we pretended that we knew nothing about the industry. The farmer came out and spoke to us. We gave him enough rope just to ask him questions about the industry, and he very quickly realized that the industry, even from the mouth of a farmer, being a little bit honest, sounded horrific. It sounded so bad that he ushered us off of the land, shut down, and actually gone and got people to chase us away from the farm because he'd realized that he'd spoke too much. If you actually ask farmers who farm animals to be transparent, they could put it in the nicest possible way, and it still sounds so horrific and violent. The ultimate act of betrayal is to take an animal to a slaughterhouse who trusts you to be killed.
Yeah, and Steve, what did we see on that farm?
On that farm, we saw
see?
all the babies in hutches, because in the dairy industry, babies never stay with their mums because the milk intended for the babies go off to make blocks of cheese, yogurts, and milk for teas and coffees. All the babies are in hutches, all the mums are bellowing for the babies. There was a fallen stock bin, there was a literal bin for dead animals when they die of some disease or like not being looked after, whatever it may be. It was an absolute hellhole. Go onto the main channel, subscribe to the main channel. We do investigations on there, we do outreach on there. Go and look at our main channel, subscribe to both. That channel is educational, this channel is our live channel. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to why we're here today defending animals. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if being kind to animals upsets you and triggers you. Please double tap the live stream, and please, if you can, share this on your socials so more and more people can be reached with the truth. At the moment, any industry that exploits animals, any business that exploits animals have literally fed you a lie, no transparency whatsoever.
Yeah, Kid Coop, humans need animal protein to survive. If you want to eat salad, do so quietly.
This is complete false information, and I urge you to be quiet with telling people your anecdotal opinion, which is keeping animals inside slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
Humans don't need animals' body parts for protein. Human needs protein, but you can get all protein from plants. You absorb it better, it's a better source, it's more natural. Violence or oppression or exploitation attached to it. People who say things like, we need protein from animal meats, be quiet, you really aren't educated enough on the topic. So listen, I'll give you a resource to educate yourself. Go and look at Dominion on YouTube, and then go and look at the Academy of Dietetics and Nutrition, and then go and look at nutritionfacts.org. And once you've looked at all 3 of them resources, then come back to the channel and click on Help to Go Vegan, because by the time you've watched all 3 of them resources, you know why you should be vegan. Subscribe and put 1 if you've already done that. Subscribe and put 2 if you're a kind person wondering why we're live streaming outside of a slaughterhouse. And subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. They've investigated F juries, the slaughterhouse that is behind us. This slaughterhouse behind us shoots horses, executes cows, and murders sheep. Have you got a question?
Yeah, there's just a lot of people saying that cows aren't killed for dairy.
Yeah, listen, the dairy industry is a really hidden industry. Put the 1s, 2s, and 3s in the chat while I explain dairy to you. Dairy industry and the meat industry of cows are 2 different breeds of cows, okay? So they take a female cow, they inject her with semen, okay? So they take her bodily autonomy and they force pregnancy on her. When she carries her baby for 9 months, like a human woman would, when she gives birth to her baby, whether they're a male or female, female that are moved in the dairy industry because the milk is the product that the cows are exploited for. Males are killed because in the dairy industry they're not worth any money. Sometimes they use sex semen, which will produce a male calf, which goes into the meat industry to be killed at 18 months. Females will be isolated in isolation hutches so the milk can be stolen that was for her baby and then be profited from. When she can no longer keep up with that demand, or if she can no longer take baby, if she can no longer calve, then she gets sent to a slaughterhouse and she dies.
Yes. Chelsea, thank you for your question. So this is something that a lot of people don't realise even when you go vegan. They put genuine question, if I have a horse and we do competitions and he loves doing it, is it bad to ride horses?
Yeah, it is. Riding horses is really bad for them. They get bad spinal injuries, they get fractures in their jaw. Horses are not designed to be ridden. It's another thing that we've been indoctrinated to throughout the years, but riding horses is actually exploitative. It's not good for them. If you have a horse, care for them. Let them go for a run around the field. You don't have to get on their backs and ride them. The bit in their mouth causes so much pressure on their jaw. It's the equivalent of if you filled up a 10-litre bucket of water, you know the little metal bar that got the handle, just put it over your forearm and lift that 10-litre bucket of water up. That force that you feel on your forearm is similar to the force that's put on the jaw of a horse when you're riding them. People often love to ride horses because they feel connected with the horse. They feel the attachment, the bond, and I can imagine why people get this. But you have to understand it from the horse's position. There's other ways that you can connect with them animals and love them animals and spend time like being close to them animals without jumping on their back and forcing them to jump over things, to walk in certain ways and do certain things. But thank you so much for that comment. It gives us the opportunity to explain veganism more, because veganism is not just a diet. It's viewing animals as a commodity. It's viewing animals as a product. Subscribe and hit 1 if you're vegan. Subscribe and hit 2 if you're not vegan but you're a kind person. Subscribe and hit 3 if you're anti-vegan. Go and double tap on this live stream, and please click on the link in the description to Animal Aid's investigation at the very slaughterhouse that we are stood outside of right now. This is F Juries. They were investigated back in 2019, and actually it reached BBC Panorama. It was that bad. It's only about 2 or 3 minutes long. Go and watch it. Come back and let us know what you think of it. Have you got another question? You had your hands.
Yeah, Star Wars Nerd is asking about eggs, saying they're not fertilised, so why is it bad?
Thank you so much for that comment, and thank you for being in this live stream. I'll tell you, the egg industry, if you do the 1, 2, 3, 1's for vegans, 2 for non-vegans who are kind, 3 for anti-vegans, double tap the live stream and you have to subscribe to comment. And I'm going to tell you what the industry don't want you to hear. Now, this is a secret. And the chickens that you eat are 2 different breeds. The unfertilized eggs in the egg industry, the chickens in the egg industry, at 18 months, when the egg production slows down, they get sent to gas chambers to be killed. Now, for the egg industry, you have to have fertilized eggs. So they get the chickens and they get the males and they put them in what's known as a parent breeder shed. There are dead chickens all over the floor because it's an absolute brutal procedure, and chickens are pecked to death during this procedure. They then take the fertile eggs. When they hatch, they go into what's known as a hatchery. They are sexed, male and female. Now, the male eggs in the egg industry don't produce eggs, right? So they get put into a blender on the first day of life. It's called a macerator. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube and you'll see this whole process for yourself. The males go inside of a blender because they don't produce eggs. The females will then go off to be exploited for their eggs. And then when the egg production slows down, they take some of the females, they put the females into the parent breeder shed with the males, and then they get fertilized eggs, and the whole system repeats. Now, this is the same system for free range. This is the same system for organic. This is the same system that you can use any marketing. Yeah. RSPCA assured would still be the same system. 18 months for a gas chamber, egg production slows down, males in blenders, parent breeder sheds, females are killed all over the place. Now, this is just the egg industry. And put 1s in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're non-vegan but you're a kind person. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. And I'm going to tell you about the chickens who you do eat. Have you got a different question?
No, I was just going to say, what should you do if you rescue chickens? What should you do with their eggs?
Give them back to them. Good point. We'll finish this on the egg industry, and then I'm going to tell you about the chicken meat industry. If you have rescued chickens and you have them at home, take their eggs out of the hutch or out of the house and just throw them on the floor. Let them shatter and smash on the floor, and just watch what your chickens do. Your chickens will run over and they will eat them eggs raw. Every time a chicken lays an egg, they lose nutrients, they lose calcium, it depletes their tiny little bodies every little step of the way until they get so exhausted that they often die from heart failure or some kind of illness. They need their eggs back. They've been genetically modified to lay 300 eggs a year. They should only lay 1 a month. But the industry has forced them and forced their bodies into this exploitative state. Now I'm going to tell you about meat chickens, but first of all, subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to this conversation. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan and upset by the vegan message. Double tap the live stream. Please go into the top 3 dots in the description and go and click on the Animal Aid link. Their investigation was done here at this slaughterhouse, F. Jury & Sons, back in 2019.
We've got 250 likes now. Let's get to 300
Amazing.
as soon
Keep
as
them
possible.
likes coming, guys. Now let me tell you about the meat industry with chickens. So a different breed of chicken. Okay, so the meat industry, you eat males and females, but the meat industry have selectively bred meat chickens to grow into the size of an adult's body within 42 days, 6 weeks. These are known as franken chickens or broiler chickens. They're stuffed in big barns, up to 15,000 hens in one barn at a time. Sometimes they put a small divider up, put 30,000 hens inside the barn and claim that there's 2 barns just to maximize profits. We go in these places, these animals grow so fast that their bones cannot support their weight. Their limbs break, they have organ failure, they have heart failure. Loads of chickens will be just dead on the floor. They're collected up and thrown in dead bins, but often so many are dying so quick, they're just left there to decay and to rot. That was their whole existence. They die on their backs, looking at the roof of a barn, wondering why they were born into such an exploitative industry that don't care about them. Now, if they do make it to 42 days old, every meat chicken will go inside of a gas chamber and be killed using CO2 gas.
Yeah.
You got another question?
Really good question from Adam Day again. What do you think on fishermen who catch fish, then release them, as the fish being caught harms them for the rest of their lifespan? Question mark.
Adam, you've got some amazing questions today, and I truly, and I know Mel does, appreciate you being here and dropping these questions in. You're allowing us to talk about such a diverse range of topics that all connect with veganism.
Yeah.
When people do exactly what Adam said, they fish, they catch the fish, they have a picture of the fish, they take the hook out and then they throw the fish back. Over 40% of fish that get put back in after that die. They die because of shock, they die because of injuries sustained during that. A lot of hooks may get snapped off in the fish's mouth during the process of trying to get them out of the water, and then that hook stays in their mouth and it inhibits them from eating or breathing properly. The fishing for sport, not to eat the fish, is just as exploitative and harmful, and it kills the fish as well. If you are someone who loves fish, why don't you put on a snorkel and why don't you go and jump in the lake and go and swim with them and observe them in their own environment? Why don't you do something that helps them in their own environment? Care for them. We should never be doing this to animals. Animals should be left alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much for that question, Adam.
Yeah, Adam, you're awesome. Malachetti Aviation, keep spamming the chat. We would be extinct if we didn't eat and kill animals.
No, we wouldn't. This is an anecdotal opinion. Where have you got your evidence for that? There is zero evidence for the claim that you've just put there. But the trouble is, the claim that you've just put there doesn't affect you, but it does keep 80 to 90 billion land animals in slaughterhouses every single year and 2 to 7 trillion sea animals being slaughtered every single year. Your narrow-minded opinion of thinking that we would be extinct if we didn't exploit animals keeps them oppressed, not you. Now, the truth is that we use something like 74% of the farmland, land that is used for farming, is for farming animals. If we didn't farm animals, we could rewild that land and we could feed all of the humans. We've got 90 billion land animals being fed crops every single year, and we've got 9 billion humans, and we still manage to have a starvation in this world. Now, when we can feed 90 billion land animals, why the hell can't we feed 9 billion humans? That's literally 90% less. So if we stopped exploiting animals, imagine if we could end world hunger. Imagine if we could literally stop starvation all over the world, and also stop sending these innocent beings to slaughterhouses to be executed and murdered. Isn't that a win-win for everybody? Isn't that a no-brainer? But you've put the comment in the chat there without ever critically thinking about it. You didn't even ask. If we all went vegan, would our world be able to sustain itself? Your narrow-minded, anecdotal opinion keeps animals in slaughterhouses. I urge every single one of you in this live stream to do some research. Go and watch Dominion. Go and watch Pignorant. Go and watch Cowspiracy, go and watch Seaspiracy, go and educate yourselves, go and watch Land of Hope and Glory, go and just type into Google vegan documentaries and watch them and educate yourself on these industries that exploit animals. You'll be so shocked with what you see.
Yeah. I mean, people just look at you and they think you're starving. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people asking about protein, they think protein from animals is a better source of protein. In fact, the science states that it's not. The study shows that there's not much difference. In fact, the plant-based protein was better. Basically, all protein comes from plants originally. The animals then can eat the plants, consume the plants. You then kill the animals and eat the protein secondhand through the animal's body, along with all the nasties like saturated fats, heme iron. Sorry, I thought, yeah.
Sorry, no, keep ending your point. I've got my hand up for the next question.
Sorry, yeah. Which leads to our number one cause of death, heart disease. Bus driver in support. Yes, the question, sorry.
Vrix put the Quran, which is in the words of Allah, aka God, says that chickens and cows and goats are created so that we can use them for milk and food, etc.
I don't care. I don't care what they say. In fact, in the Quran, it says if you kill an animal, even as small as a sparrow, unjustly, you'll be thrown in the depths of hell. This is unjust. This is not a necessity to do this. Maybe back in the day when he was alive and he was walking along amongst the earth, whenever that was written, they might have had to kill animals or kill humans to survive. Now we don't. There's no justification to do this to animals. You have another choice. When you can choose kindness, why would you choose it? Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, share, comment, and please subscribe.
Grod put, my question is, animals eat other animals. Is that not the same thing that you're fighting against?
No, so animals eating other animals in the wild is a completely different situation. They are in survival and they are trying to survive with whatever means necessary. We're not in survival and we have moral agency. We can choose whether we could be violent towards a human or animals, or we can choose kindness. Those animals don't have another option. They don't have supermarkets or anything like that. They are doing it for survival, just like humans did when we crashed in the Andes. They killed and ate other humans to survive. But you can't use that as a justification now. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. We're here today outside a slaughterhouse in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go and look at the link in the description. They kill horses in this slaughterhouse. They kill cows in this slaughterhouse. They kill little babes seen going from the dairy industry in this slaughterhouse. Sheep, beautiful sheep who are like angels, being killed inside here. We've listened to the screams today. They are begging for their life inside this evil place. This evil place. Please defend them.
PC Bullet Sponge put, what would you do with those billions of animals once you've freed them? Who is going to pay to feed them or to release them? This would cause total ecological disaster.
Okay, thank you so much for your question, but no, the opposite is true. So these animals are not natural animals. They're not breeding like naturally through their choice. They're being forced into existence. So they're all being graped without the G. Every animal in the farming industry, they're being forced into existence to keep up with the demand. If people are demanding animal products, they are breeding the animals in to keep up with demand. When the world goes vegan, it won't go vegan overnight, sadly. The supply, basically, the demand will slow down because people will be turning vegan. And then when the demand goes down, the supply comes down because they're a business. It's not that we need to consume animals, use animals for our survival. It's just an evil business that are stealing your money from you. And then when the world is vegan, there will be so many people who care about animals and so many sanctuaries for the animals that those animals that are left will go to sanctuaries. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, share, and comment. Keep liking the live stream. How many likes have we got now?
265 likes.
Let's get to 300 as soon as possible. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid, who have done an investigation on this place behind me, F. Drury's and Sons. Go look at the description and go and click on the video and watch what these people do to animals.
We've got 2 comments here, one from Venom Flex that says meat is necessary, and 2 from Minimalist 404 that says livestock farms are operated to supply food and protein for human consumption.
No.
So if people stopped eating meat, these farms wouldn't exist, meaning that we are the ones giving them life.
No, you're actually giving them murder, mutilation, and death. When you say protein, you've been mugged off and you've been brainwashed by the industry, and that's not your fault. You've just believed something without even questioning it. All protein comes from plants. The fact that you eat plants and you have protein in you doesn't justify me killing you and consuming your flesh and taking away your life because I'm like, oh, you have protein in your body because you ate plants. You'd be like, nah, why don't you just eat the plants yourself and not hurt anybody? Animal farmers should be extinct. They are not the backbone of society. They are an evil business who have lied to you, and you have obviously fallen for it, and that's not your fault. You're believing things like humane, organic, free range, and you're believing things like they are here for food when that is not true. No, they are not here for food, just like you are not here for food or a use or being a slave for anybody else. The animals aren't either.
Star Wars Nerd 72 put, in Genesis 9:3, God explicitly grants humans permission to eat animals after the flood, stating that everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Don't humans live and move about as well?
Yeah, he sounds like a nice person, doesn't he? Everything that moves is food for you. All right, I'll come and kill your family then. I'll come and kill you. In a humane way, don't worry, I'll just put you in a gas chamber in a humane way, and I'll stab you in the throat in a humane way, because my God that I believe in has told me that that's okay. Use your own conscience. Your God gave you your conscience as well, right, if that's your belief. When you look into the eyes of an animal who screams and begs for mercy, do you really think that's the work of God, or do you think that's the work of the devil? Because if you think that's the work of God, what the hell does the devil do? Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. I'm pointing up there because the subscribe button's at the top. Keep liking this live, keep asking questions.
The real 56 put more animals are killed, more animals are killed and natural habitats destroyed for vegan products.
No, so you got it confused. Actually, that's for animal agriculture. If you're not vegan, animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, ocean dead zones, animal extinction, climate change. Okay, so there's 90 billion land animals forced into existence every year. That's like this much. And then there's only 9 billion humans. Those animals need to be fed crops, okay? All plants. So if we got rid of animal agriculture, we'd actually have enough food to feed the world, the entire world, and end world hunger, and free up 75% of the world's farmland for the wild animals as well. So the reason that you think you shouldn't be vegan is in fact the reason that you should be vegan.
I'm not a bit confused with this one. Blank space put, I'm number 2 and I'm open to conversation, but I'm not changing. So you can't be open to the conversation and not willing to change. That's a number 3.
Yeah,
maybe you just don't want to accept that you're a number 3. I don't know. It's not a nice thing to be anti-vegan, right?
Yeah, so a number 3 is someone who is pro-animal abuse and exploitation.
Malakantire put, here's my evidence. 3 million years ago, due to climate shifts, natural plant food sources almost entirely disappeared. Relying on us to eat meat is it for merely for the safety of our species. 3 million years ago.
3 million years ago. Okay, I don't think you understand that there is zero life without plants. Okay, so if there is life at all, there is plants. Okay, I hope you understand that. The reason that carnivorous animals eat herbivore animals is because the herbivore animals eat the plants. Okay, the herbivore animals would not exist without plants. So then there would be zero life if we had no plants. So it's a bit like when people say, if you're on a desert island and there was a pig, would you kill the pig? Well, if there was a pig, then there would be life source of plants. So you would just eat the plants directly and then just cuddle the pig until you have safety, until you have a rescue team arrive. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Can you believe people are bringing up things from 3 million years ago that they've just made up?
Vegan Christianity, thank you so much for your kind super thanks and your comment. Vegan Christianity put, blessed are the merciful. I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here and supporting and defending the animals fiercely. You're here every single time. I see your name all the time. Thank you so much.
PC Bullet Sponge put, so how will you enforce new laws to make the world go vegan? Are you willing to imprison or kill people who refuse to go vegan?
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion.
How do we get new laws?
Yeah, basically, morality comes first, okay? So the reason that we don't have human slaves mostly anymore is because morality came first and people fought against human slavery. Then it became a crime in the law to have humans as slaves. So those people who would continue to have humans as slaves would be sentenced to prison. I think that should happen with what happens with animals as well. We are fighting for the rights of animals to be protected so that they have no oppression put upon them. And if someone goes against that, yes, they should be put in prison for the rest of their life for abusing, mutilating, torturing, and seeing someone else as a slave and a commodity for them. That's the least that should happen to them, okay? Animals deserve protection just like you do, just like I do, just like anyone who does with a central nervous system and a brain. Let's just be kind. It's a shame that we have to enforce laws to make our human species kind.
I know, it should just be like
If
we were in the place of the animals, everyone's views would be very different very quickly.
Exactly.
Guys, subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. We're live outside of a slaughterhouse that they investigated back in 2019. If you go into the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner and click on the link description, you can see the investigation done. It actually reached BBC Panorama. The findings were absolutely horrific. We're here today to bring the transparency out, to end the lies of the industry and to bring the truth to the consumer. Have you got a question?
Yeah, we've got blank space to put. I'm a number 2. I'm not anti. If people want to be vegan, more power to them. I just like a mix of protein.
Okay, first of all, thank you for being here and taking the time to comment. Now, it's easy to say that I'm all for people being removed from an injustice because that doesn't affect you either way, right? That's like me saying, yeah, I'm all for people being anti-racist, that's fine. But, you know, I like a little bit of diverse racism now and again, so don't judge me for what I do, but I respect you for what you do because you're not harming anybody. It's an easy position, but ask yourself internally rather than projecting externally. Are you okay with being personally responsible for being speciesist towards animals? It's a form of racism what you are to animals if you're not vegan.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you ethically? Are you okay with being a speciesist or a racist towards animals? Because if you think inwards and you think, actually, yeah, I'm not, my diversity of protein, by the way, doesn't need to go anywhere. You can have seitan, tofu, tempeh, vegan chicken, vegan burgers, vegan steak, vegan sausages. You can have all sorts of a diverse range of protein, but no one has to be exploited and killed for it. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Please like, share, subscribe, and please click on the link in the description to Animal Aid's investigation done here at F Juries in 2019.
We're on 284 likes. Let's get to 300.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chelsea put, are there any trucks coming in today that you know about? What happens at slaughterhouses, Steve? Do we know when trucks are coming in?
Chelsea, another. We're so grateful for that. Another great question. We've been here for nearly 2 hours now. No trucks have turned up yet. Animals were inside when we got here, so they are killing here today. So we can hear the animals bellowing from the kill floor.
We drove past a truck that came.
We drove past a truck that was empty on the way up here. When we come to slaughterhouses, a few things happen. They phone the trucks in advance and they'll say, the activists are outside with the cameras. Do you still want to come? The trucks may say no, and they change where they're going to go to. They may go to a different slaughterhouse because they don't want to be seen with the activists. They also may hold the trucks off. They phone the trucks and they say, just wait in the lay-by, go and wait at a service station, and we'll give you a call when the activists go, and then you can bring the animals in. This is a tactic done by the industry. It's not an individual thing that happens just at this slaughterhouse. This happens at all slaughterhouses around the world. It's like a united tactic to keep the truth from being out there. It's something that the whole industry do. So when we turn up, trucks may come, trucks may not come. We try and come out of the blue to stop that from happening. But the first thing we see when we get to slaughterhouses, they get on the phone, they get the clipboard out, and they start phoning the slaughterhouse haulages or the small haulers to advise them that we're here.
This is a really sad comment. Thank you so much, first of all, for your kind super thanks. This is why vegans are the strongest, you know, like Buff Tane 99, but how to keep empathy from crushing you. I cry daily.
Same, and you know what? Crying is a healthy thing. It's an expression of your emotion, and you're completely justified to cry. It's heartbreaking knowing what happens to animals. It can be crippling. But listen, my advice to you is always let it break you. Always let the pain hit you. Never be scared of being put into pain. Never be scared of facing things head on, and never be scared of absorbing that pain. Because do you know, the emotion that is really close to pain and sadness is anger. And then you can use anger. That is not to go to the blind rage of fury, action in you that will promote activism for the animals. Use that pain, use it. And every time you get hurt more, use it to absorb more, to fuel your fire, to come out, and never let an opportunity miss where you can defend the animals. Never be afraid of feeling pain, never feel ashamed of crying. And empathy is why you're vegan, because you have a big heart and because you care is why you're vegan. I appreciate your comment and I empathise with your comment and I empathise with you.
Just so you know, that's really normal to feel that way once you've seen it. Feel free to use any footage we have and make videos and post it on social media.
Just cut clips and post, clips and post.
Yeah, activism helps. Vegan Christianity, thank you so much for your kind super thanks.
Thank you.
Mercy, not murder. And we've got a super thanks from Emmy's MD. I'm a number 2. I know as a society we eat way too much meat, and I know 99% of meat sources are unethical. First step I would personally like to do when I have a little more finances is a vegan diet 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, first of all, thank you for all the super thanks, guys. I want everyone to know that all super thanks go separately towards defending animals, and it will all be used to bring what happens to them to light. I'm going to answer the super thanks question, but first of all, I just need everyone to know that we're outside of a slaughterhouse, and we need you to subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
With 299 likes now.
Excuse me. Please, could you read the question out of that super thanks again?
Yes, so it's someone who said they're number 2. They know 99% is unethical, and the they want to take is by going vegan 2 to 3 times a week.
Got you. Right.
More support.
More support. Right. You think that 99.9% of what happens to animals is unethical. In fact, it's 100% of what happens to animals is unethical. There is no right way to do the wrong thing. Any industry that exploits animals in any way, or if they view them as a commodity, is unethical and immoral. So even if you take a small, local, organic, free-range, marketed farm, it's still unethical, it's still immoral. People often think of reducing because they think that that's a better thing to do. But listen, you've already identified it as a problem. You've already said it's bad and it's unethical. So I'm gonna give you an example or an analogy to go alongside what you've said, and you tell me if this sounds right. I'm a racist, and I'm racist 7 days a week. And you say to me, Steve, racism is really bad because you're oppressing a race because of their skin color, because of their hair color, because of whatever it may be. And I say to you, yes, a really good point. I know racism is not bad, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it just a lot less. I'm just going to do it 1 day a week. On a Monday, I'm going to be racist. What's your message going to be to me? What about the victims that you oppress on a Monday? For them, it's just the same. There is no difference in the exploitation. And I'm going to say exactly the same to you. If you want to reduce the amount of harm you're causing to animals, it's because you morally care and consider animals. So why not stop causing animals harm, full stop? There is no right way to do the wrong thing. Now, you're saying that you're going to have to wait until you're financially better off to stop hurting animals. Please don't. Please look into this. Please go and sign up to the Bodybuilding Vegans resources, John the Bodybuilder Vegan on Instagram. Please go to henchherbivore.com and get his resource book and his recipe book. Please go and watch Dominion on YouTube. Please click on the link in this description and watch the investigation done here. Please educate yourself on what happens to animals. Being vegan has actually been proven to be 30% cheaper weekly. Who did that? Cambridge University did that study?
Yep, Cambridge.
And it's been proven to be 30% cheaper.
Oxford,
but listen, if your ethics and morals is to not hurt and kill and exploit animals, then you live within your means. If it meant for me, if it meant that I had beans on toast every meal for the rest of my life, because that's all I could afford, that's what I would do because I wouldn't want to break my ethical or moral code. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your super thanks. Please consider all the things that I'm saying. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Watch Dominion on YouTube so you can see what we're talking about and why it's so urgent. Apen put, being racist 1 day a week is better than being racist every day.
But it's not good, is it? It's not good. and we're not here to do this less. We're here to stop it. Would you advise me to be racist once a week? Or would you say, look, we've identified that racism is bad, don't be racist?
We've got blank space, okay? Number 2, animals do it, so yeah, and you guys, please don't equate the slaughter to animals, to the horror that happens to slaves. That's disrespectful. They were raped and beaten daily all their lives. So are the animals.
I'm gonna say strongly, don't you dare discredit what the animals go through. What the animals go through is exactly the same as the industries that you're describing. Animals are beaten daily. Animals are captive daily. Animals are commodified. Animals are viewed as products. Animals are given chains and shackles and confinement. Animals are given numbers and not names. Animals have their bodily autonomy taken from them. They have pregnancies forced on them. They have babies taken from them. They have families separated. They get executed in front of their friends and families. Animals have the desire to live just like you do. When I talk about the animal slave trade, I mean it, because in my opinion, it's no different. How can you stand there and say what happens to animals is different to what happens to humans when it's literally exactly the same? Now, I am pleased that you're against what happens to humans in the slave trade, because I believe that if you are against it happening to humans, then you should be against it happening to animals. What is the difference other than species? One's a human, one's an animal. So if you think that it's okay to do it to animals because they're a different species, then you're identifying yourself as being speciesist. And that is the same as a racist. It's the same, it's an ism. Speciesism, racism. You are oppressing a minority, or you're oppressing a different group based on the way that they look. Be consistent with your ethics and morals. I challenge you on that.
It's because people don't know what the animals face.
Absolutely.
It's so hidden from you, and that's why we're here.
But when animals are having a subjective experience and they don't want to be hurt, and they have emotions and the ability to feel pain and suffer, what is the difference? There is none.
Yeah, it's all wrong. Adam Day, I just thought I'd say, I'm starting my vegan diet later, and my sports academy says they will help me create a plan to make sure I hit all my calories every day.
Amazing. Adam, from the bottom of our hearts, from the animals, thank you. You've been here, you've asked some incredible questions. You sound incredibly intelligent, and I've really enjoyed talking to you and conversing on this topic. I'm pleased that you're going to be vegan. I'm pleased you're going to get that support from your academy as well. But please also go and check out Hench Herbivore, go and check out John the Bodybuilding Vegan, go and sign up to Challenge 22, get on there as well. Get as much help as you can, go vegan. Look at nutritionfacts.org, Dr. Gregor, a fantastic website for health and advice tips.
Yeah, someone just put animals are not great. Yes, they are. Every single animal in the farming industry is. In fact, even the farmers will use them for their own satisfaction as well. That's been caught. It's disgusting. Every animal has somebody forced inside of them to make them pregnant, whether that's their arm, if they're forcing bull semen into the female cows, or in the wool industry. Let me explain to you, to force sheep into existence, let me explain to you what happens. But first, subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but not yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, and comment. Okay, so in the sheep industry, I did a video on this the other day because people don't know this happens. It's very hard to make sheep pregnant because, for whatever reason. So basically what they do is they starve the sheep for 24 hours before they're gonna make them pregnant. They also put a sponge with some hormones inside of them a few days before they do this to force them into heat so that they can make babies. On the day they make them pregnant, what they do, they grab them, okay, by their body, they put them in a contraption like this, where they tie if their head is here, they tie their legs down at the front and they tie their legs down at the back. They then do this with them, so the sheep is hanging down by their legs. They can't move, they're literally like this. What happens next is they force an instrument into them, which goes into their pelvic area here, which they put a tube in and they put a camera down them. Disgusting, horrible. They do that the other side with the semen. They move the camera around as they inject the semen into her to make her pregnant. That's how how they make sheep pregnant, okay? Disgusting, horrific, it's torturous.
Adam Day put, I played rugby for my academy, but I have struggled getting non-leather boots from shops and nowhere else will make custom boots like that. How can I combat this? I would suggest...
The Green Gazelles.
Yeah.
The Green Gazelles is a fully vegan rugby team. That's the Green Gazelles. The guy who owns that is Brandon. Ask him, he will guide you, and yeah, maybe you can join their team as well. That'd be amazing.
They've got socials, they've got a Facebook, they've got, I believe they've got a website, Green Gazelles.
Green Gazelles.
Instagram.
If you can't find them, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is It's Mel and Steve. Message us and I can send you their socials. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. This is a slaughterhouse behind me. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid today, who have done an investigation on this place. They kill horses from the horse racing industry. They kill ponies that are just discarded from the owners they don't want anymore. They were seen shooting horses in the face in front of other horses. They were here like forging paperwork, because if horses have an injection called bute, it can't be put into the human food chain. So what they were doing to make more profit, they were changing microchips and forging paperwork to say this horse isn't the horse that they really are, they're someone else. They can put them into the human food chain and sell their flesh as something called chevalet, I think it's called. It's not called horse meat, it's chevet. It's not called horse meat, they call it chevet to make people think that it's, I don't know, cow or something, but there's no difference between horse, cow, chicken, pig, human, okay? We all want to live. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, comment and share.
Vegan Christian, if you put... Sorry, I'm multitasking. Haven't been able to address cruel Christian comments. Vegan Christianity, we appreciate you in that chat so much. We see your comments back, and you're an absolute legend when it comes to veganism and Christianity. Thank you for defending the animals in there.
Yeah, thank you so much for standing in the animals' corner there, and the fact that Christian as well, you're talking back to people who are saying they're Christian as well, but they're using the religion to hurt animals, whereas you align your actions with your morals, and in fact Christianity aligns with being vegan. The Garden of Eden was vegan, heaven is vegan. It's only when sin came into the world, I'd say that eating animals is the work of the devil, it's not God. God is a kind, compassionate figure, right? Why would they choose to kill when they can choose kindness? And you can choose kindness today and live vegan.
Stuart the vegan as well, thank you so much for answering that. I was literally about to ask Mel the question. Someone kept putting in there the same question about 1 million times. We hadn't got around to it.
Legend.
Stuart just come in and put a sentence which was just like putting a full stop on the end of that question. It was fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys.
Absolute legend. That's happened to me before. I've seen questions, and I've seen vegans in the chat answering. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending your time to defend the animals with us. We're at a slaughterhouse right now behind us. They kill cows from the dairy industry, the beef industry, they kill sheep. In fact, I believe I have actually seen, because down there you can see inside the gut room, you see all the guts that they cut in. We've seen heads of sheep being skinned. It's hell, it's evil. I can't even explain to you. It's the worst kind of evil you could ever see. I believe I have seen a baby be cut out of the sack that was inside the stomach of their mother, who then basically 20% of cows go to slaughter pregnant. And the way that they kill them is when the mother is hanging up on the kill line, they stab a knife into her throat, they pull the baby out, they let the baby suffocate to death on the floor of the slaughterhouse floor. It takes around 20 minutes for those babies to die.
Red Dead Boy put, okay, that's sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. It really is sad. Please go and watch Dominion on YouTube so you can see what happens as standard practice. By the way, everything we're telling you is standard practice. We're not telling you cruelty cases, even though there is so much cruelty cases in these. Every single slaughterhouse, every single animal farm, every single place that experiments on animals, it's all a lot of abuse underneath that as well, but the standard practice is horrific.
Red Dead Boy again put, I'm not vegan, but the baby part is really sad.
Yeah, and like the baby part, I think, connects people because our natural instinct is protection. And when you see a baby being harmed, our natural instinct is to protect, it's not to hurt them. Every single animal that you eat is a baby. You may not realize that. It doesn't matter what age they are, but they are babies. So chickens are 42 days old. when they get taken to a slaughterhouse, to a gas chamber. They've actually been genetically modified to grow really large in such a short space of time. That's why they're so young, because they want to maximize profits from their flesh. So they've actually changed the way that they are to grow really large. They're disabled babies because they can't stand up on their legs, that their body is too heavy for their legs, and a lot of them die on their face in the barns. We've seen them taking their last breath on the trucks before going into a slaughterhouse to be killed. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment. We weren't always vegan, by the way. For 26 years of my life, I didn't know what happened either. So it's not your fault that you don't know, but thank you for being here to be open-minded enough to maybe listen and understand that you haven't been told the truth from these industries, because they're a business and they just want your money. We are here today at a slaughterhouse in collaboration with Animal Aid. Please go and look at the description in this live chat to see the investigation that aired on BBC Panorama. What they saw inside this place was absolutely horrific, but inside every slaughterhouse is horrific. We're not here for better welfare, because even if the animals had amazing lives, still doesn't justify killing them, killing anybody who doesn't want to die, and they never have amazing lives either. A lot of people believe this humane lie because that's what you've been fed and you've never had any reason to question that, and that's not your fault. I used to believe that as well. Did you know that all the male chicks in the egg industry are blended up alive on day 1? They're blended up alive because they're classed as a waste product. They're a different breed to the meat chickens, so they're not profitable to the farmer, so they put them in a macerator, little cute yellow chicks on day 1.
Redbeard asks, so tell me then, why do humans have canine teeth?
Yeah, so actually they're called bicuspid teeth. Canines, the biggest canines are had by hippos, and they're actually herbivores. Just because we have something doesn't justify doing bad things. I have a fist, doesn't justify me punching everybody. When we can choose kindness, why we find excuses to be violent? Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, share and comment.
Red Dead Boy, looking at your comments, it looks like maybe this is the first time you've ever been told this kind of information, because they put, I'm sorry, I don't like they slaughter babies in the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
They should put pregnant cows in a certain place. Maybe just explain the dairy industry and explain, in a nutshell, just a snapshot for Red Dead Boy, just so they get a bit more of an understanding. And first of all, thank you for being here and spending time.
Thank you for being here. Everything we are saying is factual, so it's not like our opinion. This is standard practice. You can find this information when you look for it. It's not your fault that you don't know. I didn't know this either. Okay, so in the dairy industry, cows don't just produce milk because they are cows. Cows produce milk because they are mothers. So the mammals, just like you and I, so the reason that our mothers produced milk is because they gave birth to us. Same with the cows. Basically, cows are forcibly impregnated. They get put into a cattle crush, which is a cage that goes around them where they can't exit, they can't move left and right. Oh, and the farmer has access to her back end. Basically, what the farmer does is he puts himself inside of the cow up to his elbow and injects her with bull semen, okay? And makes her pregnant. She carries her baby for 9 months, just like you and I, just like our species. And when she gives birth to her baby is kidnapped from her, okay? Just a few hours after she gives birth. We've been there when we've actually seen a mother with afterbirth hanging out the back of her, and she's been crying for her baby that has already been taken away from her. We investigate farms, we go in these places ourselves to witness and show people the truth. They cry for their babies. They're extremely maternal animals. It's torment for them. They've been known to escape the farm to try and find their babies. They've been known to chase the trailer that has taken their babies away, and they do cry for weeks for their babies, and their babies are killed if they're male.
Wow, Karen Good is here. Such a no-life. This woman is there when there are wars in the world and they're crying for animals.
The biggest war is put upon the animals. The animals have it the worst. And I'm saying that because that is true. 90 billion land animals are forced into existence every single year, and they are killed, they're mutilated, they're blended up alive, they're raped, and they're all sent to slaughterhouses, used for experimentation. It's horrific. There's never been that many humans alive. In fact, if we killed humans at the same rate as animals, our human species would be extinct within 77 days.
Star Wars nerd thinks we're ignoring him because he keeps putting like
The same
Jesus-related comments about multiplying the fish, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Star Wars nerd, go and watch Christspiracy. It'd be the easiest way of explaining all this to you.
Yeah, go and watch Christspiracy. When you look at things written in the Bible, everything's not obviously true. In fact, fish was brought into the Bible years later when the fishing industry came in, and they were trying to sell, right? In fact, first of all, it was just that he multiplied the loaves and then they added fish.
Vegan Christianity said, I've answered many times.
Okay.
He's on it.
So he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to know.
It's just like.
Thank you for being in there answering that question.
Red Dead Boy put, does fish count? Thank you for your comment.
Yeah, so fish feel pain. A lot of people are disconnected from fish because they can't scream and maybe you don't recognise their facial expressions how you would in a pig, a chicken, a cow, a dog, a horse. Fish actually feel pain potentially even more so than we do. I mean, they have a brain, they have a central nervous system, they have peripheral nerves on the outside so they can feel the temperatures of the waters. So they're very sensitive. And in fact, when an experimentation was done on the fish, where they put, basically there was a tank and they halved it. And they had like an entrance to one side where there was food and there was like toxins that hurt their body basically. The fish would not go and eat the food once they realise that side hurts them. So it proves that fish feel pain. Let's just leave them alone, be vegan. You can get vegan fish. It tastes exactly the same. It tastes weirdly the same, actually. Nothing changes for you when you go vegan, but life and death, it's liberation for the animals. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live stream. Keep liking this live, keep asking questions. I'm here at a slaughterhouse in collaboration with Animal Aid, who have done an investigation on this place. Go and look in the link in the description. They kill horses behind me in this facility.
These comments always get me because they sort of are trying to say leave everyone alone.
Yeah.
But Zayed Mohammed, but if you are vegan, sure, fine. We don't care. Just leave everyone else alone.
That's why we're vegan, because we leave the animals alone. If you're not vegan, you literally stab a knife into their throat for your choices. If you're not vegan, you are voting with your money to say, keep making this cow pregnant, keep taking her baby away, keep tormenting her, keep setting fire to her udders so that the hair all disappears from underneath so you don't get any hair in the breast milk that was intended for a baby cow. Keep killing those cows in the dairy industry. Keep forcing those piglets into gas chambers. You're saying that every single time you purchase. This is why you have the power to stop this. Leave the animals alone. It's a non-action to be vegan. Just good people are vegan. Good people are vegan. Every child is born vegan. Every child loves animals. Our natural instinct is to love and protect, not to oppress and cut their heads off and bite their faces off. That's why we have companion animals like dogs and cats who we absolutely adore. And we're all heartbroken when we have to say goodbye to them in their last moments when there's nothing more that we can do for them, okay? It breaks our heart more than losing any human. And then the same people will say, yeah, but I love chicken though. And it's because you're disconnected from the victim. Please double tap this live stream, keep subscribing, like, share and comment. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Please put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Ask questions. How many likes are we on now?
332.
Let's get to 350 as soon as possible. Behind me today, we have listened to the cries of cows behind us. We've also been here many times before and we've listened to the cries of sheep, baby cows. It's been horrific. We've seen the guts in the gut area down there. We put the camera over. We've seen the skins with blood all over them, picked up by a dog food company. It's horrific. I can hear them in there. I hear them shouting at these poor animals. These animals are like angels. They're gentle, they're loving, and they're kind, and we betray their trust and their kindness and oppress them.
Redbeard keeps putting this comment, so we'll read it out. What about Kobe beef, where the cows are treated better than royalty?
No, they're not. They all get sentenced to a slaughterhouse. What about if I had a slave that I treated really nicely and I gave them a palace, I gave them the best food, they had the best life, and then one day when I decided, I said, oh, I'm gonna send you to a slaughterhouse now for you to be decapitated because we want to eat your flesh. It's wrong. There's no right way to do this. Imagine you in that position, then you know if it's right or wrong. You wouldn't want to be killed. You wouldn't want someone to come into your home and take your life away from you, even if you didn't feel a thing. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Like,
Nanny
share,
Moose
comment.
put, do dogs have to be vegan? Genuine question. I don't know if you are one of those kind of vegans.
Yeah, absolutely. Dogs thrive on a plant-based diet. If you love your dog, then you should definitely look into this, because dogs thrive and live a longer life on a plant-based diet and a less hazardous life. Did you know that dogs are actually, the majority of them are allergic to like animal flesh? That's why they get itchy skins. That's why they get red raw. In fact, our dog, before we were vegan and he wasn't, we used to have to get him an injection every month for his allergies. When we put him on a plant-based diet, when I educated myself, because I didn't know dogs could be plant-based, I had no idea, but I had to look into it for the sake of him, because I love him. Now, when we put him on a plant-based diet, all his allergies went away. He didn't smell anymore. His coat got better. Like, his coat was all silky, and he hasn't had an injection since. There's we get the food for him from justbekind.com. It's formulated dog food by a vet, Ariel Griffiths. Go and speak to her. She will help you. She'll give you all the information. But the studies done to prove this was by Dr. Andrew Knight. He proved this. Dogs can thrive on a plant-based diet. They're omnivores. So as long as they get all their nutrients they need, and from a plant-based diet, that's a cleaner source, they'll live longer and thrive. And they'll be so grateful for you doing that. It looks the same. The kibble looks the same, but
Chat, if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, I'm put 3 in the chat. If you are anti-vegan and you get upset when people say let's be kind to animals, please double tap the live stream, and if you can share on your socials, please share. We are here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. We are outside of a slaughterhouse, F Jury. We are live. Please go into the top 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, click on the link in the description, and go and watch the investigation done here in 2019 by Animal Aid. They kill horses, cows, and sheep in the very building behind me. Cows bellow out of here all morning as they're being killed. We're not to clash with non-vegans, but we're here today to bring you the transparency, to replace the lies that have been put there and show you the truth, because once you know better, you can do better. Once you're educated, you can make an educated decision on what you continue to support, and if you want to remove your support for industries that exploit animals. I kept seeing in the chat there, I can't remember the handle, but someone was saying, what about animals that eat other animals? Animals that eat other animals is horrific, it's horrible, I hate it, I don't like seeing it. They are obligate carnivores with no moral agency in survival situations. They haven't got the options that you do. I believe that we have a moral obligation to be vegan, and when we have lab-grown meat coming out, I believe that we have a moral obligation to give carnivorous animals lab-grown meat and to prevent them eating other animals. We can do this, we have the facilities to do it. I believe that we should do it. Absolutely. Thank you for that point.
good question from Derek. But if you don't like meat, why do you make plant-based meat? It makes no sense.
Well, it does make complete sense. But thanks for your comment, thanks for your question, and thanks for spending the time here. The reason why vegans have alternative meats like burgers, sausages, and vegan versions of meat is because no one goes vegan because they stop liking the taste. They go vegan because all of a sudden they think, you know what, I'm uncomfortable with actually being exploitative towards animals. I don't like the idea of taking babies away from mums. I don't like the idea of sending innocent, defenseless animals to gas chambers. I don't like the idea of what happens to them. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and buy the Beyond Burger, and I'm going to have Beyond Burger and chips for dinner tonight. And they go and do that, and they realise that the Beyond Burger tastes absolutely amazing. And then they go, oh, look, I get my burger and chips for dinner, and no animals are being executed. No animals are being killed for it. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you've already done that. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat. If you're not vegan, but you're open-minded and you're a kind person wondering why we're here live outside of the slaughterhouse. And subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan, if being kind to animals upsets you. Please go to the description and click on the link of Animal Aid's investigation done in the facility behind us. And please double tap the live stream. Vegan meats are there to provide the alternative to the violence. When you are given an alternative to the violence, why the hell aren't you choosing it?
Yeah. Pleats K5I put, how do you become vegan? Good question.
That's a great question. You become vegan because you connect something in your brain. All of a sudden, it's like the mask's ripped off and you see the injustice for what it is. what I would suggest is you go and watch Dominion on YouTube, and then it explains to you all the different industries, or the majority of industries that exploit animals. And then you simply remove your support for it. When you go to the supermarket next, you buy the vegan options. When you go and buy clothing, you buy the vegan clothing. When you go and buy your toothpaste or your cosmetics, you just check that no one's testing on animals. It's super easy.
Yeah.
It's like a week or two of changing your spending habits.
Yeah.
And after 2 weeks, you've got a new pattern, you've got a new set of products, you've got a new way. And you just completely repeat that over and over again. And then you use your voice and your freedom to defend the animals. Please go and also sign up to the vegan pledge. Go to animalaid.org.uk, and there is a vegan pledge that you can take there. Go to animalaid.org.uk, go into the search bar, type in vegan pledge, and go and sign up, and there'll be loads of support for you to go vegan.
Chelsea just put, I just went and watched the video where you go and pretend to be clueless at the farm, and the farmer couldn't even explain it in a way that didn't sound horrific.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time to go and watch that video. And absolutely, we just played like we didn't understand the industry. And all the time he felt like he was promoting the industry to us. He was happy to talk. But when he realized that there was cameras, when he realized that what he was saying was going to be broadcasted, he went really, really quiet. He got really, really uncomfortable and tried to retract and kicked us off the farm. And they actually chased us for about 45 minutes in their Land Rovers because they wanted us basically to be threatened by them to not release the transparency and the truth to the consumers.
So there's a worker behind you now. Just gone back in maybe.
He's on his phone.
So they
Do you work on the kill floor? Do you work on the kill floor?
I think he works in the gut area because everything on him is like that brown smudge, poo colour, and that's what flesh looks like.
Yeah. Guys, subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, and please click on the link in the description. Now, I think he's on the phone. Like we said, I think it was Chelsea who asked earlier, actually.
Yes, yeah.
Chelsea, there's an example. He's just around the corner on the phone. I think that they thought that we were here like a couple ago. They're probably thinking that if we haven't gone by the time that the trucks are turning up, they're going to have to start to phone the trucks and say, look, when you turn up, there are activists here with their cameras. And I believe that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah.
The signal here is really bad, so he's come out to phone. I can't say for facts, but that's what I believe he's doing. These industries, guys, they work so hard to keep this secret from the public because the majority of the public are against hurting animals. It's a simple thing. They don't like it. You got a question?
A few people are asking what turned us vegan. We went vegan at the same moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll explain what turned us vegan really shortly. But please, first of all, I just want you to know we're outside of a slaughterhouse here. F Juries, we're live. We're collaborating with Animal Aid, and their investigation is in the description. Please click and watch that. It's only a couple of minutes long. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're a kind person. And thank you for being here, number 2s. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. And please double tap so we get the likes for the animals when they turn up. What turned us vegan was the dairy industry. We saw the injustice that happened to dairy cows, and we realized that we were personally responsible for them being in slaughterhouses. We watched an amazing video by Joey Carbstrong. Go and follow Joey Carbstrong on his YouTube channel. And all of a sudden, it flashed up on the screen, a cow having her throat slashed open, and I realized that she was in there because I had her breast milk in my fridge. And I realized that I no longer wanted to be responsible for the violence towards animals. Joey literally tore the mask off and showed us the reality of the industries that exploit animals. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you know it, you can't unknow it. So once we knew, then we had the opportunity to go, you know what, I don't want to be responsible for hurting animals. I'm going to be vegan. And that's exactly what we did. Subscribe and hit 1 if you're already vegan. Subscribe and hit 2 if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and hit 3 if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you can, share it on your socials. Go to the 3 top dots in the corner and hit on the Animal Aid link.
Luke just called you the vegan Eddie Hall.
Amazing. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Luke. I'll take that as a compliment. He's just
New and improved.
Big, strong guy, yeah. Vegan's gonna be strong. Patrick Boumier is a vegan strongman, actually. He's amazing. He's a really strong guy. He's got some world records, I believe. There's so many vegan strongmen, so many vegan athletes.
He only made his world records when he went vegan.
Patrick Boumier did, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we are live outside of a slaughterhouse here today to bring the transparency and truth to you, to give you the education that the industry don't want you to know. The industry don't want you to know that over 20% of dairy cows go to slaughterhouses pregnant. because they're sold on their weight. They don't want you to know that 6-month-old piglets are sent to gas chambers to be gassed for bacon sandwiches. They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to see this. Is that a trailer?
No.
No.
No, it looked like a trailer. We spot them a mile away now because we see them so often. What's happening behind you? Who do they kill here?
This slaughterhouse here, they kill horses, they kill sheep, and they kill cows. Every single cow that comes here will be bolt gunned in the face and have their back leg lifted up and have their throat slashed open. You got another question?
Just a stupid comment that they keep spamming the chat saying human lives matter more.
Wow, what a superiority complex. Imagine if you were the race or you were the species that was in the oppressed position. Imagine if an alien race came down and said aliens matter more than humans, so let's execute, exploit and commodify humans. You don't have to do this to animals. What a dangerous like superiority complex. That's not a good trait to have.
Yeah. Kaneo Campbell put, have you ever had meat before?
Yeah, we weren't born vegan, unfortunately. People are being born vegan now because they're woken up to this industry. But unfortunately, no, I wasn't born vegan, Mel wasn't born vegan. It took us about 40 years to realize the injustice that happens to animals. But once we knew, then we can make the changes. And this is what we're doing this for now, because we feel morally obliged to help the animals by getting the education out to others. So many people in this world are pre-vegans. They're just dormant vegans who haven't had the message. And when they get the message, they go vegan. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you already are vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat. If you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, subscribe and put 3 in the chat. If you don't care about animals, please double tap the live stream, like, share and subscribe.
Billy Fletcher just put, I'm not vegan, but I hate that animals get slaughtered.
Billy,
pre-vegan.
you are saying the sentence that every vegan said before they went vegan. Billy, thank you for being in the live stream. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for spending time. If you are someone who hates the fact that animals get slaughtered, then you simply stop being the person who funds it. You go vegan. Go into the description, watch the Animal Aid investigation, Billy. Then please go and watch Dominion on YouTube. If you then come back, subscribe to our Instagram or our main channel, and our Linktree link is in there. And at the bottom of that Linktree link, there is Help to Go Vegan by John the Bodybuilder Vegan. You can also get onto animalaid.org.uk and sign up to the Vegan Pledge.
A lot of people, when you're on the camera, Steve, a lot of people just say, how do you get your protein? AB Chris put, how do you get your protein?
Thank you so much. And it's such a compliment that people are asking me that. Thank you. You get your protein from plant-based sources, obviously, but I use seitan, tempeh, and tofu. Seitan is my favorite. If I'm honest, I really love seitan. You get it in Tesco's, I get it in Tesco's. Seitan goes with everything, and you just use seitan in the same way that you would have used a piece of animal flesh. Super high in protein, super cheap, super tasty, super versatile. No animals screamed and died on a slaughterhouse floor for me to get my protein gains.
I can hear them shouting at the animals again, moving them.
Yeah, I think they're moving them from the layerage through. We're going to hear bellows in a minute when they're stabbing them.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking, guys, to be stood, 50 meters away from where the animals are being killed.
In that building, it's
And the only thing that we can do is appeal to your heart, is appeal to your empathy. Oh, yeah.
We got Goyd Rogers Ghost, but I'm not opposed to veganism, but when people are trying to force their beliefs on me is when I get mad.
Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for putting a comment that doesn't clash. I don't know if you were here earlier, we aren't here to point fingers, we aren't here to clash with you. But listen, when you feel like people might be trying to force their opinion on you, it's just because they're giving you the facts. Because for the animals who are dying behind me right now, this was such an urgent message for you to hear. Nobody can force you to do anything, but they can give you the information. And once you know the information, once you know the true entirety of the information, then you can make a decision. Now, if sending animals to slaughterhouses for optional products is fine by you, then no one can force you to be vegan. But if you are someone who honestly looks inward at your heart and thinks, you know what, I don't agree with sending animals to slaughterhouses, I don't like animals being exploited and killed, then it sounds like you should morally and ethically be vegan and aligning your actions in that way anyway. So no one can force you, but we could give you the message without apologizing, and that's all we're doing.
Okay, we've got a few different people asking the same thing in different ways.
Yeah.
Being vegan does nothing. The animals will still die, won't they?
Got ya. Guys, I'm going to answer this question, but first of all, for anyone joining, I need to let you know where we are. I'm going to come back to that question. We're live outside of a slaughterhouse. This is F. Jury and Son Slaughterhouse. We are here to show you the truth and the reality that the industry tries so hard to hide. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, so we know. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation. Thank you for being here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan, and please double tap the live stream, and if you can, share it on your socials. People who think that the animals are going to die anyway, so there's no point in being vegan, you couldn't be further from the truth. The industries, I hate saying industries because it's not, the businesses. The businesses that exploit animals for profit, they only run off of profit. So it's a supply and demand business. Now, every time that you go to the supermarket, the horse racing track, the dog racing track, every time you buy clothing made of animals, you create demand. Every time you remove 1 block of cheese, you effectively vote with your money to demand another cow to be forced pregnant, to have a baby taken away, and to be sent to a slaughterhouse. Every time you buy a bacon sandwich, you demand another 6-month-old piglet to go inside of a gas chamber. Every time you buy free-range, local, organic eggs, you pay for another male chick to go into an open blender. It's a supply and demand industry. Now, what is the best way to affect the supply and demand industry? You affect the demand. You cut the supply of money. You cut their profit margins. If you don't give slaughterhouses your money, then they don't need to slaughter animals. Animals stop being slaughtered. So what's going to happen to the animals? I'm going to answer that question after you let us know. Subscribe and 1 if you're vegan. Subscribe and 2 if you're not vegan, but you're a kind person. Subscribe and 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Please click on the animal aid description link in our description. What's going to happen to the animals? At the moment, 2 to 7 trillion sea animals and 90 billion land animals are exploited and killed for taste pleasure. We've got a small amount of vegans. Now, as the vegan population increases and the non-vegan population decreases, the demand is affected. Therefore, not only will the animals not be seen in slaughterhouses, they won't be being forced into existence. As the animals being forced into existence drop, the animals going into slaughterhouses drop, and we'll end up with this overrunning of vegans. And then all of a sudden, we've got a world with a population of majority of vegans who's happy to take the animals and put them into sanctuaries and care for them. Thank you for such a great question.
I don't know if people can hear, but all I can hear is the crashing, I can hear the shouting. Being here is horrific. Explain to people what it's like to be stood at a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thank you very much. We are outside of a slaughterhouse live. We're in collaboration with Animal Aid. The link to the description in the description shows an investigation in the very building behind us right there. Now, that building was investigated back in 2019, and go and watch the video. You will be so surprised and shocked at what you see. Now, what happens in these places is that animals are dropped off. They walk up that ramp there and they get put into a layerage. It's like a big holding area for the animals. They then wait. And then they get taken from the layerage, they get forced through onto the kill floor. Can you imagine the fear? You've been in a farm for a few years and you're used to your surroundings. One day you get put on a truck, and then you get dropped off in a really strange place, and all of the familiar faces that you see daily, they leave you there. And then you're surrounded by a load of weird, strange smells, weird, strange people, weird, strange machinery. You see blood all over the floor, and there's other animals there that you don't know. You then get pushed and walk forward towards people with big aprons, wellies, and knives. They sharpen the knives as you're being forced forward. Could you imagine the fear-induced terror inside that animal as they're being walked towards the kill floor? And then they get shot in the face, electrocuted or gassed, and then stabbed in the throat. It's horrific. Let me swap back over with Mel. Mel will tell you more.
Yeah, I mean, empathy only takes you so far. Like, even though we stand here and we see what happens to animals, and I see the investigations I see inside these places, and it breaks my heart and it keeps me up at night, and I cry daily about what happens to animals, I will never experience the full scope of what they face because I'm not the victim. I have the luxury of freedom. I view crying and having the freedom to cry and be sad and sit there as a luxury, because the animals don't even have that. They don't have the freedom to do that. They're being forced onto the kill floor as we speak. Behind me, I can hear them shouting at them and maneuvering them. All you can hear is metal clanging against metal. They're going to be decapitated in there because you're not vegan. Now, somebody put in this live stream, I love meat and I can't, like something like, you can't have it, gutted, kind of thing like that. I can. I can choose to exploit animals if I wanted, just like how I can choose to exploit humans if I wanted. But I have morals and I have principles, and I wouldn't exploit someone else because I have empathy. I wouldn't want that happening to me. We should not do that to somebody else. Now, you can get the vegan alternatives. I still have vegan burgers, I have vegan kebabs, vegan pizzas, vegan cheese, vegan yogurt. Nothing changed for me when I went vegan. I just had to read the back of a few packets to make sure it says vegan. And I just switched in and out. I went Tesco's, I used to buy from the right, I now buy from the left. It's really easy. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment. Veganism is not a diet, by the way. I'm at a slaughterhouse today to bring you the light, to bring light on an industry that is hidden from you, because 3 times a day plus you'll be paying for this exploitation to animals if you're not vegan, when you can choose just to be vegan and defend animals. When I was younger, I loved animals. I still obviously love animals. But when I was younger, I used to love going to zoos. I swam with dolphins, and I had no idea that they were using my love for animals against me to pay for the exploitation of animals. Did you know that when they catch dolphins or whales in the ocean, they kill the entire pod of the animals to capture 1 or 2 dolphins to put in captivity, which is like a prison? Did you know the elephants, they actually roam up to, I think it's like 500 miles a day or something like that, and they put them in captivity. They basically like do this thing where they do this. It's called psychosis, where it's a symptom of someone who is trapped in somewhere where they shouldn't be. They go mental in these places. In fact, when the animals they deem as not profitable, they will kill them. Did you remember the giraffe that they killed to feed the lions because they wanted to have lion cubs in there? So they wanted the area to be cleared out from that one animal that was a bit old and not bringing attention and not bringing money in. They killed them and then they fed them to the lions so they could have an enclosure free for another animal that they felt would have more potential for people coming to the zoo.
Kevin Burns put, it's best to have a balance. Too much or too little of anything is bad for you. You need the meat just as much as you need the veggies.
Okay, so if I ate too much human, is that bad for me? Just leave them alone. We get all our nutrients from plants. We don't have to hurt animals. Our message of that is that of peace. Behind me is a slaughterhouse where they kill cows in this evil place. Evil place. How could you walk inside somewhere? Do you not like animals? Did you know this is a slaughterhouse? They kill babies. They kill mothers, they scream for their lives. They're no different to you and I. We should have morals and empathy towards others. Just because animals look different to us doesn't mean that we should exploit them. Me and Steve look different to one another. Steve's a man, I'm a female, he's got dark hair, I've got blonde hair. Does that justify me exploiting Steve or exploiting someone else purely because they look different? Absolutely not. We should defend the animals, we should protect the animals. They're like childlike beings who need protecting.
Adam Daper, do you think restaurants should be more educated on veganism? As with my local restaurants, they have 2 or 3 vegan options, which just isn't enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody should have the education, because the reason that we don't have the majority of vegan restaurants yet is because the education is seeping out into the world at the moment. When I was younger, there was 0 vegan options. I didn't know what veganism was. I didn't even know what oat milk was when I was younger. So the world is changing, but it's not changing fast enough. On the point of education, when we go vegan, it's then important to educate people, like you said, point them to things like Dominion, because what if that restaurant owner watched Dominion and then they go vegan, then they understand, then the whole restaurant is vegan. We've got amazing vegan restaurants, like in London, you've got Unity Diner, which is Earth and Ed's restaurant. Brighton, you've got the vegan fish and chips. The world is changing, but sadly it's not changing fast enough because the animals need more warriors in their army fighting for them. Yeah.
Oh, Vegan Christianity, thank you so much again for more super thanks. And your comment with your super thanks is just really nice. Be kind, not cruel.
Yeah, just live by that. Get that printed on a wall or something so everyone can be reminded. Be kind, not cruel. Because if you're not vegan, the consequence of your actions is cruelty, it is abuse, it is torture, and it is murder. When you think this is called humane, that's because they've lied to you. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream, keep like, sharing and commenting. Thank you, Vegan Christianity, for your kind super thanks and your kind words.
Emily Wheatley thinks we literally need meat to survive. We will get deficiencies if we don't have real protein.
Okay, thank you for your comment, and I'm not judging you that you don't know this. That's not your fault. You've been fed the lies. Sadly, we thought the same thing as well, but no, All our nutrients come from plants. We do not need animals as slaves, commodities. We don't need to wear their skins, use their feathers, eat their eggs, drink their breast milk intended for a baby cow. We don't need to eat their flesh. All our nutrients come from plants. So there's no justification to do this. If we abolished animal agriculture, that'd be the best thing for everybody. Absolutely everybody. First and ultimately for the animals, but it's better for your health, it's better for the environment, everything as well. But veganism is an ethical stance against the use and exploitation of animals. All protein comes from plants. Plants is where protein is made. The animals eat the plants. Then you kill the animals, you get secondhand protein, but along with saturated fat, cholesterol, which leads to our leading killer, heart disease. Okay, please
more beeps of thumbs up there.
Yeah. Please subscribe at the top of this live stream. I'm at a slaughterhouse today and I'm here in collaboration with Animal Aid. They kill horses inside this slaughterhouse. They have done an investigation on this slaughterhouse. They kill cows from the dairy industry, little baby cows like this big, tiny little baby cows who are from the dairy industry because male calves in the dairy industry don't produce milk, so they are classed as a waste product. Because cows don't just produce milk because they are cows, they produce milk because they are mothers.
TSK Deadshot has put, I'm on the side that you can choose whatever you want to eat and not force people to do what you want.
That's a very dangerous side. So you agree with Jeffrey Dahmer, killing humans and eating humans because you're on the side choosing whatever you want to eat should be fine. No, I'm on the side of the animals. I'm on the side of those who are being oppressed and abused by your choices right now if you're not vegan. I'm here to give the animals a voice because the animals are being exploited by the billions and trillions every single year. It's unjustly, we don't need to, and you're paying for this if you are not vegan. The animals are crying behind me and I'm using my voice to speak up for them because no one's listening to their cries. They're being tortured, they're screaming for their lives, and they have no way out. They need you to be vegan to stop this evil happening to them. It's the biggest war in the world.
Country Life says that you're brainwashing people.
If you think telling the truth is brainwashing people, then sorry, that was a loud truck. Then I believe that you think that all teachers in schools brainwash children and anyone speaking facts is brainwashing someone. The fact that you think I'm brainwashing you shows that you're just feeling guilty and you don't want what happens to animals to be true. I don't want it to be true either. I wish it wasn't. I wish I was here lying to you, but sadly I'm not. I'm here with my heart broken, trying to defend the animals. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat. That's dangerous. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid today, who have done an investigation on this place, a slaughterhouse. This is your local slaughterhouse, by the way. You have so many people coming in. They kill in all whatever ways. We have information to know that they also kill the animals in a halal way, but halal means nothing different to normal stand slaughter.
Do not disturb, but they are bred to be eating.
Oh, okay, so if I breed humans to eat, then that's fine in your moral world? Absolutely not. Just because dogs are bred for dog fighting doesn't make that moral. Just because bulls are bred for bullfighting doesn't make it moral. Use your brain, because without your brain being functioning, like it's obviously not functioning right now very well, you are putting animals in positions where they're being tortured, mutilated, and ultimately killed for something you don't even need. Remember, this isn't an industry that we need. This is a business of evil who are lying to you. They're mugging you off. If you're not vegan, you have been fooled and mugged off by the industry. And don't take offense to that, because I was as well. What chance do we stand when we're growing up in a world that has conditioned us to do this and be disconnected to the animals?
Celestial Mind put, I'm a vegetarian, but I am not against anyone.
Okay. You got to understand that vegetarians still abuse and oppress animals. It's just a diet vegetarian. A lot of people go vegetarian though because they think what they're doing is right for the animals. They think it's what vegan is, and that's what a lot of people do. The vegetarian is actually, we believe, made up by the industry itself. Because when people have compassion towards animals, what's the first thing they do? I don't want to eat them, because that's the connection point. What you don't realize is that the egg industry and the dairy industry is more more abusive, and it is the meat industry, it is the veal industry, it is the gas chambers of these poor, innocent individuals. Go into zoos. People who are vegetarian will still go to zoos and bet on horses. It's a diet. But veganism is someone who doesn't oppress animals at all. It's an ethical stance against the use and exploitation of animals. It's like being anti-racist towards the animals.
Vegan Christianity, another super thanks. You are so kind. This will go all towards helping the animals. Thank you.
Thank you.
They've put kind, compassionate people get blessings from above. Cruel, callous acts brings a bad energy to your...
Really does. You know, you're so right. Did you know that when people consume animal products, they become very aggressive? We've seen it. Someone close to us who used to not be vegan, who is now vegan. They've had like a personality transplant. They're now really kind, whereas before they were quite agitated and stuff. But don't forget, like, animal products, and when they farm animals, they create things like BSE, okay, where basically BSE came from farming cows, where the farmers would give the cows the crushed up bones and flesh of other cows that have been killed because it was cheaper for them. So they were making these cows cannibalized. Cows are herbivores, so they were eating the body parts of their fellow friends without even knowing. Then they were getting BSE, okay? That then transferred to humans. BSE makes you a very angry, agitated person. I believe it's still in the world right now. The government even tried to cover up that it was out in the world. It's absolutely horrific what happens to these poor animals, but the benefits of going vegan is that you won't get these kind of horrible diseases that are in the world right now that they're covering up.
Freya Soul put, yeah, I was vegetarian for a long time until I saw them take babies from their mums, and then I learned more about eggs too.
Yeah. So look, the dairy and the egg industries are extremely hidden, and they're hidden on purpose. When was the last time that you saw a cow on TV being forcibly impregnated and having her baby taken away from her and seeing her cry for her baby as her baby got stabbed in the throat in a slaughterhouse? I've never seen that on TV. I never saw that. All I saw was cows eating grass and the farmers saying that they love their girls. I thought cows just produce milk because they're a cow. I had no idea either, and they want to do that on purpose because they want your money. So if they can't get you with the flesh, they'll get you with the eggs and the cheese. In the egg industry, all the male chicks are classed as a waste products. They're blended up alive on day one, these cute little male chicks go in a blender or a gas chamber, or they suffocate to death in a black bag. They just put them all in a bag and tie the knot. Standard practice, by the way. It's not cruelty cases, it's standard practice. It's going to switch back in with Steve.
Absolutely, well done. Guys, let us know where you are so we got an idea of the chat room. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're a kind person. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat. If you are anti-vegan, please double tap the live stream. We are here live outside of a slaughterhouse. This is F. Jury Slaughterhouse. It was investigated by Animal Aid back in 2019. They were shooting horses in front of other horses. They were decapitating sheep under 20 seconds of slashing their throats, and they were leaving baby calves inside the kill floor knot box for 2 to 3 hours, slipping on feces and blood until they come over and executed them. Go into the description of this live stream, click on the Animal Aid link and watch that investigation for yourself, and then come back and tell us what you think. Have you got a question already?
Yeah, Freya just put, I thought happy cows magically produce milk.
Yeah, Freya, you are not alone.
Yeah.
Most of the world think exactly the same, and it's because that these industries are deceptive by design. They literally replace...
More support.
They literally replace the transparency with lies. They don't even just tell the members of the public. You don't even get told the truth. How does anyone stand to make the right decision when you are not even given the truth?
Oh,
Is this a truck?
Truck.
Just keep that, don't move that, don't move that. I'm gonna get it with this.
Truck of animals coming in, probably cows. Oh, babies, I'm sorry. These are your victims if you are not vegan. I'm so sorry. We're going to show you the unloading in a moment when these poor animals will go into this evil slaughterhouse to be killed. Stay on this live stream. We'll show you. They're backing up right now.
These are victims of
Poor animals
non-vegans.
on, I presume,
These are
cows.
victims of industries that exploit animals.
Potentially sheep if the
These are the
bottom
ones who pay
slats
the
aren't
cost of their
open.
life.
Sometimes
Absolutely
they put
horrific.
the slats.
Absolutely shameful. Shame on the industry for what they do to these animals.
There's ploughmans again.
Forget you. We won't let them. We'll bring what happens today into the light, I promise. We'll continue to show the world what happened to you today. Absolutely horrific. I feel so sorry for these animals. I can't tell who's on this truck. I can't tell if they're cows or if they're sheep. I can't tell. If you're not vegan, these would be your victims. I'm so sorry. We're here. We're trying to let the world know. We're trying to let the world see.
Please
We'll
spam
do
green
everything
hearts
we
in the
can to
chat
make sure
for the
they know,
animals.
make sure they
Get more
understand.
people to see.
I'm so sorry for what's about to happen to you. I'm so sorry. Shameful. Shame on this industry. Shame on you. Shame on you for what you do to these animals. They're on the phone in the truck, phone in the slaughterhouse, saying the activists are outside, bringing the truth to light.
Oh,
Absolutely horrific.
I presume cows on there,
I have no idea. We're going to find out.
or potentially sheep because they knew we were here and the slats are up at the bottom.
Yeah. What they're doing right now, they're backing this trailer up to bring the animals off onto that layer. Is exactly what we spoke to you about. Guys, subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. This truck right here behind us has got animals on it that they brought to this slaughterhouse here today to die. They've backed up there. They're going to drop the tail of that truck down and the animals are going to run off and run up into that layerage. There is no escape for them whatsoever. Once they're inside that building, this is it. If you want this
Sounds like
industry to
cows.
stop, if you want this business of exploiting animals for profit to stop, you simply go vegan. You stop paying for it. How old are them animals? How
He's got
old
a
are them
stick.
animals? Why have you got that stick?
He's
What's
got
that
a stick.
Why have you got a stick in your hand? He's got a stick in his hand. Why the fuck's he got a stick in your hand? Why have you got a stick in your hand? What's that for? You don't hit the animals with it, do you? What animals are on there? What animals are on your trailer? He said he's got a walking stick. Yeah, he's walking absolutely fine. Bit suspicious if you ask me.
Yeah.
Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. We're here today trying to bring what's happening to these animals to light. This is the reality of what you pay for. This is what you support if you're not vegan.
Have you seen who's in there? See
Is
who's in
signal
there.
okay?
With
Is
your
signal
stick.
okay? Pardon?
Yeah. With the camera, who's in there? I think it potentially is cows.
I think it's sheep.
You think sheep?
I think it's sheep.
It's ploughmen's as well. The bottom slats are up because they know we are here. We're going to show you who's in this truck. Please, vegans, please put green hearts in the comment section for the animals so we get more people in the room. So when the animals get unloaded off into this slaughterhouse, people
too
can
dark.
see.
We're going to see.
They're unloading
We're
the
gonna
back
see.
there. They're likely sheep then probably if you can't see them. We're going to try and capture them coming off. They might come out and shut up all the gates because they don't want you to see. Look, he's got a stick with him.
Interesting how no one from the slaughterhouse is coming out. No one's coming out.
Look. Yeah, they're hiding. They're hiding behind the wall.
Yeah, they're hiding in there. They're hiding.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
When are you going to give us your opinion on the animal aid investigation done in 2019? When are you going to give us your words on it? You've not spoken on it, Ivan. In 2019, when Animal Aid came here and investigated you, you still give us no response. You were investigated. It was on BBC Panorama. Still no comment, no comment, no comment. Anything from this industry is no comment because the minute they start talking, they literally will criminalize themselves. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. What's your opinion on the animal aid investigation done in 2019? Did you see it? In 2019, this slaughterhouse was seen shooting horses in front of other horses. In 2019,
They
why
kill
were you
animals in
shooting
here.
horses in front of other horses? Why were them baby calves left in that knock box? Why were them baby calves left inside that knock box for 2 hours? Why were they left inside there? Why were they left inside there for 2 hours? Why were they left in there, causing extra alarm, harassment and distress? What's your comment? 2019, you were investigated by Animal Aid. You still shoot horses here? Do you still kill horses here?
Steve!
The industry will know. The industry will know what exactly happens in this place. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here.
What's happening, Steve?
It's just not commenting. I'm asking them if they're making any comment about the investigation.
But who's
no
on the
comment.
truck? What's happening here?
No comment. These dear animals, this is their last walk. This is their walk of death inside of a slaughterhouse right now to die. These animals are going to be killed. No mercy. They're going to be stabbed in the throat. They're going to have their bodies dismembered. They're going to have their skins ripped off. They're going to have their flesh chucked into packets and sent to supermarkets. They're with their friends and family right now, absolutely petrified and scared on this, what I can only describe as a slave truck. Absolutely horrific. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. If you're open-minded to these conversations. What are you doing? Are you hitting them animals? Can you hear them thumps? They're hitting them. It sounds like there's like something going on in that trailer. Subscribe and put 3 if you're anti-vegan. This sounds dodgy. Why are you hitting? There's like thumping coming from inside that lorry. Be vegan and do not be the reason these animals are exploited and executed. This can all end, this can all stop, this doesn't need to happen. Animals are here with us, not for us. I think these are sheep, they sound like sheep.
I think sheep.
Maybe you're cows.
We'll see in a moment. Oh.
They don't want to come off, they don't want to come off.
Because they know where they are, they're scared. They're scared.
Here they come, here they come, here they come. Oh my gosh, cows. She just fell over. She just fell over on the way up. These are cows in the beef industry. Cows in the beef industry. They're cows in the beef industry. Cows exploited for their body parts, for their flesh. Shame on this industry. Shame on you. Shame on you. Yeah, shut the doors. Shut the doors. Don't worry, the world will see. The world will see exactly what you're made of. Disgusting. Let's go back over here. Them animals there, they were from the beef industry. They were beef cows. Cows exploited for their body parts.
Will 1 come off?
Pardon?
Did only 1 come off?
No, there was like 5 come off, but as she came off, or he came off, they slipped on their way up.
Oh.
Because they're just so scared. They didn't want to come off.
No.
I could tell that they didn't want to come off, and they got goaded off. That guy had a plastic stick, and I said to him, "What's the stick for?" And he said, "I got a bad leg." He said, "I got a bad leg," and I'm just walking around.
Load of rubbish.
He's walking around absolutely fine. I can't say factually, but a lot of the time they use these sticks to goad the animals off the trailers into the slaughterhouses, because guess what? Animals don't willingly walk off of truck houses. Animals don't willingly walk to their death. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe.
We've seen them use sticks on them
Seen
before,
them all the
haven't we? At
time.
all different
Seen it all the
houses.
time. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. If you're open-minded to these conversations, subscribe and put 3 in the chat. If you are anti-vegan, double tap the live stream. Please like, share and subscribe. Getting this seen by as many as we can, by millions, is what the animals need. There's nothing we can do for the animals that have just slipped up there on the way to their death. The guy now has gone in, he's going to get his money, he drives off, he betrays the animals, and they're left there today to die. By the time you go to bed tonight, them animals will be stabbed to death, they'll be murdered. I want you to remember that. Any non-vegan in this live stream, them animals, by the time you rest and close your eyes to go to sleep, they'll be dead, their lives will be taken. All for what? An optional product, a burger? Absolutely ridiculous.
You see, they're such like sweet slaves, aren't they? Like going in not knowing, like
so gentle.
They're about to be stabbed in the throat. They trust us and we betray
so gentle.
them.
We betray them. They're so gentle.
Vegan Christianity, thank you for your kind super thanks. And they put many people believe the lies and disbelieve the truth in this backwards, upside down world. That's so true. How is it people believe lies easy but not the truth?
They believe the lies easy because it fits with their, like what they've been indoctrinated with. Because we're told the lies from such a young age. Like you would still believe in Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy if nobody ever told you any different.
Exactly.
And it's because we get them while they're young. We take children while they're really young. And do you know what's really sad? If you ever see a child with animals, they love animals. We all loved animals. We would have run over to a chicken and wanted to. And it's absolutely horrific. It's abhorrent. It should never happen. It's disgusting. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat. If you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, subscribe and put 3 in the chat. If you are anti-vegan, double tap the live stream. Please like, share, subscribe. We're live outside F. Jory's slaughterhouse. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid. Animals have just gone inside the layerage. Click on the link in the description and go and see the investigation done by Animal Aid back in 2019. It made BBC Panorama. Every time we're here, we ask Ivan, who always comes out, what his comments are on that investigation, what his thoughts are on it, and nothing. No one ever speaks, no one ever talks. Everything in the industry is done under the blanket of secrecy, because if these secrets came out, the world would know and
Shame
people would be vegan. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Shameful. Slave.
How could you do that? How could you sleep at night? Let me swap in with you. People are bored of me by now.
No, it's absolutely horrific. It breaks my heart. I've just seen, all I saw was a sweet little video. I saw the brown cow who tripped as they went in, and I can't even express to you how terrified they would be inside this place. We've heard them shout, abuse, and kill animals brutally inside this place. The Animal Aid investigation shows you what the animals, okay, what they do to them. They go inside this layerage here, they wait there till the kill floor is ready, they kill them on the kill floor, they have no way out. And these animals, they try and fight for their life, they try with everything they have to fight for their life, because their life is the most important thing to them, just like your life is the most important thing to you. Don't use your freedom to take away someone else's. They want to live just like you do. They're around people who are about to stab a knife into their throat and decapitate them and rip their skin off their body. 20% of cows go to slaughter pregnant. They're pregnant, grieving mothers. How could we do this? How dare we do this to animals? Our species has done this. The evil ones of our species has done this to animals. Don't let our species do this any longer. Be the light in this world. Defend the animals. And we need to correct what we have done to animals and protect them.
Oh, the real me, bro. Thank you so much for your comment. I said, because I think people are bored of me. They put, Ismail and Steve, I'll never get bored of you both. Thank you so much for showing the truth. Thank you, the real me, bro.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the vegan activists in the room. Thank you to any number 2 who's not vegan yet, but is open-minded, for being here and spending your time listening to our words that are not our words for our sake. It's the words that are happening to the animals. The animals need our voices. They need your voice too, but they need you to take action today and live vegan. This is the biggest war that has ever happened to the animals. Anything else that has ever happened to humans is like a drop in the ocean compared to what happens to animals. Not saying that humans' atrocities are fine. I'm against that as well, but we don't pay for that 3 times a day, whereas you pay for this 3 times a day if you're not vegan.
Adam Day put, thank you both for teaching us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for staying on the live stream. Thank you for giving us the time to show you the animals today. They need a platform, they need a voice, and thank you for just being a kind person who just didn't know any better. A lot of people just don't know better. Let's see who's in the live stream right now. Please subscribe at the top of this live stream, and please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, because maybe you don't know the industry or have ever been taught this before. And number 3 in the chat if you love abusing, mutilating and killing animals, because that's just who you are and you're a dark person.
Vegan Christianity put, trolls are boring, not you.
Yeah. Oh, the vegans are so sweet and kind in here. Like, we're just saying, please have empathy and please choose kindness. Well, our message is of peace, not violence. I'm at a slaughterhouse. The ones who are the violent ones are the ones who go inside slaughterhouses, who work inside slaughterhouses, who stab animals in the throat every single day of their lives. These people are conditioned to a level of violence that isn't normal. These same people who kill every single day walk amongst your children, whether that's at theme parks, supermarkets, bus stops. They could be stood next to your child who loves animals, and they are ones stabbing animals for you personally if you are not vegan. Please defend the animals. Please defend the animals. Watch Dominion on YouTube. We're here to collaboration with Animal Aid, who've done an investigation on this place. They shoot horses in front of other horses. They were abusing animals. They were swearing at the animals before they shot them in the face, calling them the C word, saying, don't cut the legs off this one. They want them whole. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream, like, comment and share. How many likes we got on here right now?
409 likes.
409.
Who are we here with in collaboration with today?
Yeah, let's get to a 450 as soon as possible. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid today. I just said that in the link in the description, you can go and see the investigation that they did here at F. Drews and Sons. You will see what they did. They were falsifying paperwork here for horses. They kill horses here as well as cows, as baby cows, as sheep, and potentially other animals as well. Because when a horse has an injection called bute, they can't get put into the human food chain, so they can't profit from their body as much. So what they were doing is changing microchips from horses so that they can make money off the animals more so, and then they'll call horse meat chevrolet. They won't call it horse meat because people, when they see horse meat, will go, oh, no way, but if you see meat that's called chevrolet, you'll be like, oh, maybe it's just a different version or whatever. Every animal wants to live. Their life is important to you as your life is to their life is just as important to them as your life is to you. Sorry, we've been live streaming for like 3 hours now. I'm getting tongue-tied. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. One thing you probably didn't know in these industries is that in the egg industry, the male chicks are classed as a waste product. They don't produce eggs, they're sentenced to a gas chamber, or they're blended up alive, or they're put in bags and they suffocate to death. Did you know that in the egg industry, chickens for eggs and chickens for meat are 2 different breeds of chickens? Chickens for eggs have been genetically modified to lay 300 eggs a year, okay? Naturally, they should lay 12. Naturally, they should lay 12. So they have been so depleted of their nutrients from laying so many eggs that they must have their eggs back. Okay, so a lot of people say my chickens lay eggs all the time. That's because it was back in the day where they took the jungle fowl and they selectively bred them to lay more eggs than natural. That's why they do it. It's not like you can genetically modify them like from your back garden. Their breed has been genetically modified, just like how we have like pugs and things and animals like that who can't breed properly because humans have selectively bred them. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, comment and share. How many likes we got in the live stream right now?
412 likes right now.
Let's get to 150. Have you got any questions?
What made you vegan?
Yeah, so I wasn't vegan for 26 years of my life. I loved animals all my life, but I was disconnected from what I was paying for to the victim. I didn't understand what veganism was, but at 26 years old, I sat down on the sofa one day and I saw a video on YouTube by Joey Carbstrong that's debated someone about dairy. And I remember thinking, there's nothing to debate about dairy, like cows just... Sorry, is that a truck? I thought it was just ate and produced milk. No, not truck.
No.
I thought they just ate grain and that cows are mammals just like we are. They need to be made pregnant to produce a baby. They need to be made pregnant to produce a baby, therefore that's how they make milk, because they are mothers. I didn't know that all the cows in the dairy industry get sentenced to a slaughterhouse to be killed. It's horrific. Please go and watch Dominion on YouTube. Please subscribe, ask questions, go to our Instagram, Mel and Steve, and ask questions if you have any